We never know where life will lead us or what may hinder us along the way. But while every day can feel like one big question mark, it doesn't have to. With the right insights, strategies, and solutions from Western and Southern Financial Group, together we can look ahead to leave the unknown behind.
What's pro football focus doing? Last week they had Brady. This week they got Brady.
We're literally doing it differently from everybody else.
As a matter of fact, moving forward from this point on, I will not make reference to PFF.
Do you not understand that they are that way because you're Joe Flacco?
And you just like to discredit things that people deserve credit for.
That you can't possibly be expected to defend that.
Talk about the game, Sam.
So,
who cares about what people think about us?
Yeah, I like football season, and all the things that go with
it. Welcome into the PFF NFL podcast. Happy draft day, everybody. It's time, Sam. Welcome. Hi. Steve Palazzolo, Sam Monson here. If you're listening to this, we only have a small window for this podcast to be relevant. So appreciate everybody that's listening and everybody that's joining us.
Well, if you're listening
YouTube.
live, perfect. If you're listening tomorrow, you get to see how wrong everybody was.
Yeah, but we're gonna do this together. We're gonna be right or wrong together. We're gonna have a live mock draft right now on YouTube here on draft day. So let's get into it. We have to set some ground rules here because it's a little difficult. There's a little lag when you're on live, so I think it's going to be tough to do an actual YouTube poll. But we're going to use the PFF mock draft simulator. Look at that; they're coming to us from Australia. What time is it over there? Nighttime, right?
Evening, apparently.
Evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening. Right. So it's probably like 7 p.m. over in Australia. No, I don't know. Whatever it is, maybe later. So we're going to listen to the people. Maybe not completely. We have to see how much interaction we get. We got to make sure that the lag isn't there. We haven't tested this out, but we're all going to do it together. Let's work through this together. Can we do that?
What are we doing?
We're doing a live mock draft.
It's
our final mock draft. Viewer's choice.
Okay.
That's what,
You're in charge of this whole thing. This
yeah, but you got to get into it. You got to play. You got to play.
I'm here. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm ready. I'm willing to be led.
I think you and I get a vote though too.
We get a vote. We've given our opinion. This is fan led.
People want to still hear our opinion.
We are merely
the only thing
facilitators.
is
Singapore now.
The betting lines as of last night
swung again.
Now have Aidan Hutchinson as the third most likely pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, behind Trayvon Walker, edge defender, Georgia, and behind Ike Ekwonu, offensive tackle from NC State. Mm-hmm. So Hutch has dropped. So I do want to make this we want this to be predictive, and also, if you're a fan, if you're a fan of a certain team, you got to step up. Go all caps if you're a fan of the team, and maybe your vote will count more. So all caps if it's your team picking. That sound good?
Sure.
All right, great. Let me pull up my podcast reads because I'm unprepared. And we'll tell you about Western and Southern and how awesome they are, and then we'll get into the actual show. Because the PFF NFL podcast is sponsored by Western and Southern Financial Group. While you focus on your roster moves, Western and Southern helps advance your money moves. You buying your first home? Planning to start a family? Wondering how to make your money grow? Well, Western and Southern's playbook of life insurance investment and retirement solutions helps you rest assured on game day. Team up to understand needs and address goals with a game plan built just for you. Get started at westernsouthern.com/PFF. Look at that. Sponsor of the studio where the live draft show is going to be happening right here tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday.
Yes.
Sunday recap show as well.
Yeah. A lot of podcasting, a lot of live shows, a lot of draft coverage.
Yeah. Well, last year it was something like 24 hours of coverage. Not in a row,
right,
but over the 4 days. And we'll probably do just as much, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to say?
Well, I was going to say, charity update, the last remaining component of the outfit is yet to arrive. So I haven't been able to do the TikTok yet. We will. That'll happen. You have an update, though, or a piece of relevant information to the next challenge, the baseball pitch. Your buddy Mike, former famed high school pitcher.
So he was actually a catcher. He was a catcher.
He wasn't even a pitcher. Well, that's even more my favorite.
Yeah, but catchers could throw hard. Mike threw about as hard as I did probably in high school.
Really?
I just had the size, and I was a late bloomer, you see. Late bloomer.
Okay, so a catcher who had a decent arm in high school rolled out of bed yesterday after like 20 years of not throwing things and threw what?
Yeah, Mike went on. He did not play in college. He went on to be a softball star.
Okay.
For 3 or 4 years. So he hasn't thrown in probably 15 years.
Right.
Consistently.
Hit what on a radar gun.
And Mike, he had a good arm 20 years ago. And he put everything into it. I don't think he blew out his arm.
The bottom line, what's the number?
It was very precise. It was 69.7, I believe it was.
69.7.
He did not crack 70.
Okay. If a dude was able to roll out of bed after 15 years of not pitching and hit 69.7, there is no earthly way that I'm not hitting 60.
I don't think you understand the baseline of arm that he was coming from. I mean,
20 years ago.
We used to pick dudes off at first base all the time. We just give a little signal, boom, pick him off because he had a cannon. He had a cannon
that's
for Division III Massachusetts high school.
Yeah, in like the late 90s.
Yeah. But
do you know the number of things that were good in the late 90s that are not now?
Third Eye Blind. Third Eye Blind was good back then.
I mean, there were cars that were really fast in the late 90s that are like as slow as an average family, sedan now.
Matchbox 20.
Like, that's not the baseline.
All right. Baseball talks up through the roof. So Mike threw almost 70.
Again, I get 10 miles an hour on that.
He's in serious pain now, though, too.
Right. Well, I mean, yes. I would imagine whatever the number is I'm achieving, it will be followed by pain.
We have 32 picks to get through.
Well, let's go then.
I wanted to let the people.
I'm just saying that's a good data point in my favor of hitting 60.
All right, we wanted to get the people to get in here, so we got some more people. It always takes a little time here, so let's get to it. I'm gonna pull up our mock draft simulator. We get the Jaguar. I'm gonna start the draft. We get every team selected. It's over at PFF.com, which can be completely unlocked, by the way. 50% off. Draft 50. Just got to keep reminding you, draft 50% off, PFF Elite. All right.
And by the way, we keep saying 365 days of access. If you just sign up now, you get 2 years worth for the price of one.
That's a great deal.
But it's even better because the draft next year is not 365 days away. It's 364 days away.
Oh, wow. But do you know what really makes it better?
What's that?
You can get a second year of access. PFF is giving a second year of access to these elite users if a running back goes in the first round.
Yep.
That's the other special treat here. So there's literally never been a better time to sign up.
And you don't need to do anything for that. You just get it if you signed up.
You just sign up and then root for a running back to go in the first round here tonight. So, all right, we ready?
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson value is incorporated into the simulator. It's baked in there somewhere. I do know that. It's in the algorithm.
Okay.
First up on the clock, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So again, in the YouTube chat, shout it out. Who is going to go first? Let's make this more predictive. Let's make it a little bit more predictive. But at some point, I think the first few picks are not going to be easy to predict. So maybe whoever you want, whatever your team is, shout it out. So if you're a Jaguars fan, you're going to shout out the pick in all caps. And we'll kind of like count those double unscientifically. But it does look like, Sam, Trayvon Walker is going to be the pick here.
Yeah, it does.
It does look like Trayvon Walker. So you already get the Walker. Look, you got see the all caps people? You see them coming in? You watching the chat?
Yeah.
We have an Ikwanu pick. We got a lot of Walker, right? And again, it's going to be, we got a Thibodeau. So it's unscientific, but it looks like the consensus.
You got a Tom Brady pick.
Tom Brady could be traded. Jaguars for Tom Brady. Don't screw this up, guys. Don't screw this up. It looks like Walker.
Yes.
Is the guy. Now I want you to type in who you want to go number one. Is it Trayvon? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So Trayvon Walker is going to go number one. I'm going to scroll down. He is, where is he? 12th on the PFF draft board. We've discussed him left and right, but Trayvon Walker, it looks like he's going to be the pick for the Jaguars. Now the pivot point of the draft.
It's never a good thing when you got to scroll all the way down to 12 for the number one overall pick.
Hey, what are you going to do? You never know. You never know what he could become. Let's go to number 2. So now the Detroit Lions are on the clock, and this feels like the one where they go with the hometown guy, right? Michigan. Going to go with the Michigan guy, Aidan Hutchinson. But let's see. All right, so type in your answer right now. Aidan Hutchinson is is potentially there. Back in the day, we were looking at Kyle Hamilton. Malik Willis has been discussed here. So who is the pick at number 2? See, the poll feature is a little tough. We could try, maybe. The poll feature is a little tough because it's delayed and we could wait for the results. We could try.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the spit it into the chat deal.
The only problem with that is when the picks run together and the same names are coming up, it's difficult to tell who was being called out for the last one.
Look at it cooking.
And who's being called out for
now
this
it's
one.
cooking. This thing's going to go huge.
Yeah.
This is how you go viral here, Sam. The chat is cooking. What? You're looking at the wrong camera if you're going to make that face.
I mean, I was looking at the right one, then he changed camera is what happened there.
Easiest pick of the draft, Julian Kuhn says. So let's go Aidan Hutchinson, number 2, to the Detroit Lions, because everybody's going with Hutch there. Star of the Hutch podcast over here at PFF.com.
Lions got to be happy if that's the way this whole thing pans out, right?
I would think so. Yeah, I think the Lions would be very happy with that.
Like, I think there were real concerns that Aidan Hutchinson's tiny little arms are going to prevent him winning around the edge, which he didn't do a ton in college anyway. By far his biggest means of success was that inside counter move, which is easier to achieve in college against college tackles than it is in the NFL, particularly if they don't respect your ability to win on the outside with speed. So having short arms is a thing you're going to need to work around or figure out a way of offsetting if you're a Hutchinson. So, it's not like there's no reason whatsoever to be concerned about Aidan Hutchinson as a prospect. On the other hand, if you're Detroit and you thought this guy was going to go number 1, he is the best prospect in this draft, or certainly the best edge rusher in this draft.
I want to clarify that too. I mean, if you had told me back in November when Hutchinson was having a good season that he would be the number 1 overall lock, that he would be the number 1 overall pick, I'd say, I don't know if is he top 10, because he again, I always compare to Bosa. Those guys were always going to be top 3. Hutchinson got better and better. So that also makes you think his starting point was a little bit lower, right? He was a good player that became very good his last year at Michigan. All right, so we've got Trayvon Walker, number 1, Aidan Hutchinson, number 2. The Houston Texans are up on the clock. So I already see some Derek Stingley suggestions here.
A lot of Willis suggestions.
A lot of Malik Willis suggestions here. Where will the Texans go at number 3? You did a good job myth-busting yesterday. The Houston Texans under Lovie Smith, they're not just a cover 2 team. They actually played the 11th most cover 1. That's pure man-to-man coverage. And Stingley's probably the best man corner in this draft. Maybe the best all-around corner. Again, I think him and Sauce Gardner are close, but this could be all over the place. Can we suggest trades are going to be tough? I think trades are going to be really difficult to do here.
Also quite a lot of Jermaine Johnson suggestions at number 3 overall.
Really? So now it's starting to cook. I think, the delay just kind of caught up a little bit, and now it's somebody count these. It's all over the place. You got Sauce, you got Evan Neal, you got Ekwonu. There's a Thibodeau. What do you think, man? Dave here's it Stingley.
Yeah?
My feeling is it's Stingley.
Okay.
Yeah, Stingley now has the best odds. I think that might need to be the tiebreaker.
Is just what you're hearing, your feeling?
No, going by the odds, not my.
I see.
Not by what I'm feeling. Because this one, can we get an intern to count all these, please? A lot of people are looking at Derek Stingley here, Evan Neal, Sauce. We got one Sam Howell, the punter, Ariaza.
That's an unlikely one.
Use a poll.
It does feel like a poll is,
Can we fire up a poll here? Is this?
Let's do this one on the fly and then do a poll for the next one, because this is chaos.
I like the chaos.
Yeah, well, you might like the chaos.
It's good for the YouTube algorithm.
It might be. I'm not sure it's great for, listening and an experience.
You're right, Steve. This is way easier than the poll feature. All right, we'll try to do a poll next time. Tyler, is that even possible? What do you think? Can we keep up with a poll here and there if I give you some options? We'll give them options. All right. All right, what are we going? Stingley here?
Yeah.
Let's go Derek Stingley.
This is what happens when I leave you to do things.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is awesome. This is a great time.
You deal with this however you want.
Derek Stingley to the Houston Texans. Great pick by the fans. All right, the Jets are up on the clock. What are the options here for the Jets? Let's go Sauce Gardner.
Okay. Jermaine Johnson should be one.
Jermaine Johnson. Ekwonu.
Are they going to go offensive line? Should that even be one?
They seem to love Ekwonu, and they do maybe need a right tackle. And there's rumors they've soured on Mekhi Becton.
Wow.
Because of the injuries and stuff. And Thibodeau should be the other guy.
Okay.
Those fair? No receivers?
Sure. At 4?
No receivers at 4.
Okay.
I would say. Let's do those 4 options. New York Jets are on the clock. This is going to take 3 hours is the problem.
Well, I think it's still likely to be a superior option than just trying to gauge the volume of names thrown at you in the chat. But, that's just me.
I think it's fun. It's draft day, man. We're just going crazy. We're just going crazy. There's the poll. You gonna vote?
Yeah, because I need to see the results. It's the only way of doing that.
The results, yeah. There are the results. All right, we get the poll up. We got 40 votes in. We'll continue to let that stay up for a few more, for another minute or whatever, and go from there.
I will give you, to your credit, which is not something I say very often, but it's cooking. There's a lot of engagement going on.
There's a lot of engagement. We're just trying to engage the fans, right? I don't want to just speak at people. This is our family, man. This is us. This is we're having fun here, and people will pick it up. Jermaine Johnson's only at 8%, so this is interesting too. We can analyze the poll. Jermaine Johnson, a guy that the Jets reportedly love, absolutely love, and maybe he'd be a better pick at 10. I think he'd be a better pick at 10, obviously, but only 8% of the vote. It looks like Kayvon Thibodeau might be about time to close the poll. He's got 39%. Sauce Gardner at 32%.
Oh, it's closing.
So if you're going to get your last votes in, it is more efficient than spamming the chat.
You think? Yeah?
Looks like Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be the pick. Oh, no, Sauce is closing in.
Closing.
Do we end it? Yeah.
It's done.
There it is. Kayvon Thibodeau is the pick. So you start. I'll type it in, and you start getting the next selections for the Giants ready to tell Tyler.
Okay.
Sorry, Tyler. I didn't think we were going to have to do this, but we're doing it. Kayvon Thibodeau. Giants are up next on the clock. Charles Cross has to be one of the guys. Sauce Gardner again. Icky.
Honestly, are all three tackles and then another player.
And Sauce, they're rumored to be.
Okay, so Charles Cross, Sauce Gardner, Icky, and Evan Neal. Those are your four options for the Giants.
And we'll put that up for the Giants here. Jets are going in the trenches, they tell us. Saleh doesn't value corner. That is fair. Saleh's coming from the Seattle tree. No, it's coming from the Seattle tree, and it's true. They haven't valued corner. They've just, developed Richard Sherman and developed guys late, right?
Developed Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
That's your case.
I think that's how maybe they view that position. We're going to get these traits guys later.
The 49ers developed one of the greatest corners of his generation.
Yeah, but they got him in the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think.
Seattle developed Richard Sherman.
Seattle.
Okay.
I'm saying, so he's coming from the Seattle tree where they got the Brandon Browners of the world, the Richard Shermans of the world, the Byron Maxwells of the world, right? And they just, found guys that fit them and played good defense. Yeah. Who's this, the Giants? I would go Evan Neal here.
Looks like Icky's winning, though.
Icky's winning here. I would go Evan Neal. I'm out on Charles Cross, as is the chat, apparently. Only 17% for Charles Cross from Mississippi State because they know about the model. The model's kicking Charles Cross out. Cut off here. This guy wants Sauce at 5 and Cross at 7. Is it fun to be a Giants fan right now? Is it fun to be a Giants fan with 2 top 7 picks here?
It's probably more fun than it is to be Tyler right now.
Rest in peace, Joe Rogan. There's breaking news in our chat.
Huh. Okay.
People do that. That's what people do in chats. It's not real. It's not real.
I like the suggestion that somebody had before of cutting this thing off. Ending the poll at 200 votes makes sense.
200 votes? That's fine. All right, it's over. Approach. Icky is the pick here for the New York Giants. This might be a tough listen. We got to figure out how to talk. So for people that listen. Might be a tough listen, but you're not going to get that many listeners. It's more of the live interaction here.
What?
Because nobody's going to listen to this on Friday, right?
This might be a tough listen, but don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Right. Not as many people. Not going to get as many listens. Icky Ikwon is the pick at number 5 for the New York Giants. We're all having fun here. We're mock drafting live. Why don't you get the picks for the Panthers? It's going
to be fun.
Here we go. Charles Cross.
Yes.
Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
Do we put Malik Willis in there? You got to put Malik Willis in there.
So the 2 tackles and the 2 quarterbacks. Charles
Cross. Okay.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis.
Cross, Neal, Pickett, and Willis. And while we're figuring that out, I'll tell you about our friends over at Manscaped, the only true guaranteed quality pickup this season. It is Manscaped, to the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. With Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0, your skill position will be sleek and smooth enough for a sub-4 340. Support us and head to manscaped.com. Use the exclusive code PFF at checkout for 20% off plus free shipping. Can we get an intern for Tyler in there? I'm sorry. We just really screwed up because the people voted for a poll. Because of their ceramic blade, this is Manscaped, and their skin-safe technology, your nicks and snags will be reduced. In the season of trimming the roster, Manscaped will make sure you're cutting the right players and not any important pieces to your D. Like Bobby Wagner got cut this year. Manscaped would never let that happen. It's an important
I'm not
piece
sure you want to be mixing the metaphors that tightly when you're talking,
Oh, okay.
pubic trimming and then player cutting.
Yeah, we'll just cut
I mean,
that
look,
part out.
it's good. It's a good metaphor for the read. I wouldn't directly tie it to players.
Don't cut any players to your D.
Right.
And no important pieces. Look, fellas, don't fall off her draft board. The ladies out there think long nose hair is a major turnoff. The Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer is your solution. Why not use the best tools for the job here? April's draft season, but it's also Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. So you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code PFF at manscaped.com. It's 20% off with free shipping. Manscaped.com. Use the code PFF. Turn your Mr. Irrelevant to a first-round pick with Manscaped.
The chat is desperately hoping that the Panthers trade down. The only problem with that is you're going to need somebody to trade up, and I don't.
All right, let's make a poll. Who's trading up?
Well, I don't see who's going to do that. Like, you look at this spot, and Carolina's stuck here in this unenviable position of not wanting to take any of these quarterbacks at 6, potentially wanting to take one of the tackles, but doing so would mean they don't have another pick for multiple rounds. So they love to trade down. The problem is, who is on the board that somebody wants to trade up for, knowing that Carolina is stuck in this awful position of maybe having to take a quarterback? I just don't see the taker.
All right, let's cut off the poll here. It's Evan Neal. Evan Neal, Alabama tackle, is the pick for the Panthers at number 6, which means the chat also needs to tell us who's the Panthers quarterback. This is your rule. If you don't take a quarterback, you have to tell us how are you getting a quarterback if you're the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
You're trading for Baker Mayfield. You're trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. What are you doing? So, Panthers are going Evan Neal. That puts the Giants back up on the clock. Of course, the Giants already took Icky, so let's go no more. So no Charles Cross here.
No.
Sauce Gardner's going to be a part of this one.
Yep.
Who else do we have here for the Giants? They've been rumored to maybe be in the Jameson Williams sweepstakes.
Okay.
At wide receiver. So let's go Jameson. This is why I didn't want to do the polls at first.
Because you can't think of 4 people to put for the Giants.
Sauce Gardner, Jameson Williams. Who else?
I gave them Devin Lloyd in a mock draft at this point.
He's not going to be there this high.
Really?
He's not.
I mean, this is an ideal spot to trade away and go for somewhere else.
It absolutely is, especially the way this one's
like this one would basically
out.
be Sauce Gardner. So maybe put trade as an option. Sauce Gardner, Jameson Williams, trade.
Who's trading? We need a trade partner here, Sam. Don't screw this up.
Dude, who needs a cornerback? Someone to trade up for Sauce.
The Vikings.
Yeah.
No, they would never. Kwesi would never trade up.
Kwesi would never trade?
Never.
Sauce Gardner, Jameson Williams, trade, or who else? Who's your 4th?
Jermaine Johnson.
Okay. There
we go. Okay, so you're going to deliver those to him. All right, that works.
Yeah. This is a really smooth operation.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a great time, I think, for...
People said it couldn't be done, but here you are just making it happen.
Yeah, I think this would be a great place for the Giants to trade, get picks for next year, and yeah, we'll see. They already got their tackle. Probably feel good about that. Polls up here. Let's see, who would I vote for? I know who I would take. Oh yeah, this is overwhelming. We might want to. We could call it. We could already call it. The Giants pick at number 7 has been called for Sauce Gardner, and that's it. Sauce Gardner's the pick. So Giants coming away with Ahmad, Sauce Gardner, and Ike Ekwonu. Are you happy, Giants fans? Should be happy there. Sauce Gardner going at number 7 to the Giants. That puts the Falcons up at number 8. They've been tied to a bunch of receivers and defensive linemen. So this could be Jameson Williams, Drake London, Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
I would say. And then maybe Jermaine Johnson here for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep. I think those are right.
Those are your options. We can go receiver. We can go with that next potential edge in Jermaine Johnson. We appreciate everybody being here live with us on YouTube. It's draft day. Don't forget, we're going to be podcasting live directly after the draft. So PFF NFL podcast, you're going to watch the entire draft show live on YouTube, and then we're going to go live right after it because, we're going to have a lot of takes. We got more things to respond to coming out of the draft because it's actually happening tonight. I got my vote in. This one's going to be a lot tighter here, Sam. Looks like Drake London's in last out of this group. It's going to be tight. It's tight between Jameson Williams and Garrett Wilson. The people are looking at receiver. Jermaine Johnson's close as well. The people are looking at receiver here for the Falcons. We have a couple Jordan Davis. We have Falcons fans screaming Jordan Davis because that's what all caps means. It means you're a Falcons fan. But it looks like Garrett Wilson's starting to pull away just a little bit here. When we ranked our receivers, Sam, we had Garrett Wilson number 1, both you and I.
Yeah.
From Ohio State.
Yep. I mean, I think he is the cleanest top receiver prospect of this draft, the best composite of all the skill sets, and a guy who actually might have a higher ceiling than people are giving him credit for because he isn't, 6'3" and a 4'3" flat guy and a dude who wins the catch point better than anybody else, like Drake London. I think people assume that means low ceiling. But Stephon Diggs is an average receiver body, right? An average receiver from a physical tool set point of view, and he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. There's no reason that Garrett Wilson can't be that kind of player.
Garrett Wilson is the pick, 38%. He beats out Jameson Williams at 33%. So Garrett Wilson, now we now have the first wide receiver off the board. Garrett Wilson at number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. That puts the Seahawks up on the clock. Definitely have to have Malik Willis in the group here, right?
Yeah, I would say you have to have trade in this group as well.
We're not doing trades because somebody's going to trade up. Okay, the trade would have to be with Pittsburgh.
It would have to be with Pittsburgh.
Either Pittsburgh or New Orleans is going to trade up for Malik Willis.
Yeah, we can make it happen. Let's
so we have Malik Willis.
We come to it.
Malik Willis, Charles Cross.
Okay.
Because they need a tackle. Trade. And would they take a Kyle Hamilton?
Wow. After throwing 2 first-round picks?
Probably not.
Jamal Adams?
Probably not. A third first-round pick on a safety. Who else for Seattle here?
Defensive lineman?
They could be Jermaine Johnson as well. I don't know if everybody loves Jermaine Johnson or if it's just a couple teams that love him.
All right, let's go those 4.
All right, poll's going. It's going to be going live here on YouTube. We owe Tyler like a steak or something, making him work like this.
And this is only like 11 a.m. in the morning. Think what he's going to be like
on draft night.
Tomorrow morning at 1 a.m.
He's going to be so mad at us when we're recording the podcast live, too, at 1. And yeah, we owe him. We definitely do. A lot of people talking to me here.
Yeah.
For my other job.
Perfect.
Don't they know I'm live? We're live, podcasting right here. Seahawks. Where are they going to go? I got my vote in. It is close between Charles Cross and Malik Willis. Charles Cross. That would be a risky pick here, I think, for the Seahawks. I should have put Trevor Penning, actually. Should have put Penning up there, too. They've been linked to there we go. Saints ain't trading. They're not going to trade. Saints fans have been pretty vocal lately about what they're definitely going to do. Charles Cross, I think, is pulling away here. And that's the pick at number 9 for the Seattle Seahawks. So they're going to wait on quarterback. Everybody's waiting on quarterback. The viewers of the PFF NFL podcast don't want a quarterback anywhere. So start thinking about the Jets at 10 here, Sam. But number 9, Seahawks are going Charles Cross, Mississippi State offensive tackle, one of Mike Renner's favorites. He can step in, replace departed Dwayne Brown. That puts the Jets up on the clock. At number 4, the people took Kayvon Thibodeau. So the Jets already got their edge defender. Now I think the receivers are back in play here. Jameson Williams, Drake London should both be in play. I think Kyle Hamilton could be in play here. And, of course, Jermaine Johnson, once again, who the Jets.
Kyle Hamilton is in play?
Oh, wait, not Jermaine Johnson because they already got Thibodeau. I think Hamilton's in play. Safety need. Do they care about the secondary at all?
Do they care about the secondary?
Both corners are off the board. I could see Hamilton being in play here.
I mean, a big part is what they think of Drake London. I think Jameson Williams is definitely in play because of that speed. Drake London is more of a wild card in terms of where teams rank him.
None of the tackles are left, and they could go that way. With Trent McDuffie, I don't think they're going to go corner this high.
The
top 2 off the board.
The top 3 tackles are gone, so they're probably not in that market. They're probably not reaching for a guy like Bernard Ryman or Raymond, apparently, is how that's pronounced, even though that's clearly not how it's pronounced if you have any kind of German heritage, i.e. being Austrian. Or Trevor Penning. So, Yeah, I guess Hamilton is in.
Let's throw Hamilton in the mix.
Who's our fourth? We got Jameson Williams,
Drake London, Kyle Hamilton, and who did we say?
We didn't. I think we have an extra guy, an extra space.
Just do 3.
All right,
three options. It's got to be one of those 2 receivers.
All right.
Or Kyle Hamilton. That's it. Sometimes you just got to go. Sometimes you just have to go.
You just got to go.
Oh, man. Stop putting fake rumor stuff into the chat, people.
Yeah, Joe Rogan has not died. Everybody shut up about it.
If you see enough live chat rooms, people come in and they do that. They're just like, somebody died.
Just one more way. This was a great plan.
Yeah. But you watch it. It's going to take off. YouTube is going to bring this to the moon. It's 1 million viewers on this one. Tyler's we're just cycling. Thank you. Joe Rogan is not dead. Thank you for keeping that.
Hell of a picture that guy had as well.
Who would I take here? This guy. We should have put Olave in there, I guess, if we're putting all the receivers.
Maybe. I mean, Olave top 10 feels pretty rich at this point.
We're calling this one Jameson Williams to the Jets. If the Jets come away with Kayvon Thibodeau and Jameson Williams, man, you got some home runs. Potential home runs there.
Yeah, good day for the Jets.
I like it. Add the speed. Jameson Williams, good fit for everybody. Do well by Zach Wilson. Okay, Washington Commanders are next on the clock. Kyle Hamilton's been rumored here. Drake London in play. Maybe a Trent McDuffie?
I don't know if the NFL is as high on McDuffie as...
Not this high, I don't think. I think offensive line, they're looking pretty good, but would they be interested in a Penning here?
Yeah, and that's starting to get quite reachy.
I don't love this pick here for the...
No, it hasn't unfolded well for Washington, actually.
For the Commanders. I throw Olave in there, too.
All right.
And then they went linebacker last year, so I don't think I'd go linebacker here.
No, they're probably not going defensive line. They're kind of in a bind, actually.
I need the consensus board. Where's the consensus board here? I don't want to miss any players. Just go with those 3?
I guess. This is not a great spot for the Commanders. So, recapping so far, Trayvon Walker, number 1, Aidan Hutchinson, number 2, Derek Stingley, Kayvon Thibodeau, Ike Ekwonu, Evan Neal, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Charles Cross, Jameson Williams. That's our top 10. Now we got the Commanders on the clock in a pretty ugly spot.
A lot of people early on looked like Kyle Hamilton here in the voting.
Yeah. That's the way it's unfolding right now.
Okay. Sorry. So I'd go receiver here because you know my theory on Carson Wentz. I like the big-bodied receiver for Wentz. So I would go Drake London, but the voters are going Kyle Hamilton here. Okay. So in our mock draft, Kyle Hamilton does fall out of the top 10, but not that far. Number 11 to the Washington Commanders. Kyle Hamilton, that puts the Minnesota Vikings on the board here. You and I have talked receiver for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Do we throw the 2 receivers in there for them?
Drake London and
Chris Olave. I put Trent McDuffie up here.
Yeah.
And then where else could they potentially go?
I mean, pretty much anywhere, right?
Yeah. Would they go a Devontae Wyatt?
Yeah, I think Wyatt or Jordan Davis are in the mix. Which one would you put in there?
I think for them, Wyatt makes sense. I don't know if he would go that high in the actual draft. And this is also why, like, as you get further into the first round, it gets really difficult to pare down to 4 players sometimes.
Sometimes,
or to the right fits for certain teams. Like the Texans coming up at 13 as well. Who do you put on the board for them? I got to make sure I'm looking at the consensus board, not just the PFF board, because
Well, if you want to get led by other people, that's fine. But the Vikings are in an interesting spot because they're taking this approach of, almost continuing as is in the same direction. They haven't taken this opportunity to be a heavy reset. They're not completely pivoting direction. They're not going in a whole new rebuild. They're kind of staying the course, which means they're not doing anything drastic. They're not going for a quarterback. They're not doing any massive overhaul. They're just kind of picking the best players, and they're a prime candidate to trade probably down.
It is a massive win for Trent McDuffie. So Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington, 65% of our viewers are going Trent McDuffie. He's going to be the pick at number 12 for the Minnesota Vikings. It puts the Houston Texans up on the clock. At number 3, the Texans took Derek Stingley, so they already went corner. Good luck picking 4 players here. Quay Walker could be in the mix here.
At 13?
Yeah, because I don't know if the team that's rumored for Quay Walker is the Patriots, but anytime the Patriots like somebody, you have to wonder if Nick Caserio and the Texans like that person.
The Quay Walker thing's getting out of control if we're talking about him at 13.
The odds are already in the favor of him being the first linebacker off the board. It's all through the roof. I don't know if Devin Lloyd would be in play here, but
I think Jordan Davis is in play here.
Jordan Davis is absolutely in play here. Would they potentially go receiver?
Sure.
And is that you got to choose between Drake London or Chris Olave? If you are, but I don't think they would. I don't know if that's the play there. Jermaine Johnson could be in play here too.
Yes,
for the Texans. Let's go Jermaine Johnson.
So Jordan Davis, I would put. You want to put both receivers in there?
No, I would go less on receiver. I think they're going to be more offensive and defensive line because you could go Trevor Penning involved here too to play right tackle.
Okay, Jordan Davis, Trevor Penning, Jermaine Johnson. What's our 4th option?
What was the other one I said? And Quay Walker.
Oh, come on, Quay Walker.
All right, because our listeners aren't going to take Quay Walker.
I would hope not.
So let's not put Quay Walker in there. Devin Lloyd. Okay. We like Devin Lloyd. There's the poll for the Houston Texans. We're live. Everybody's watching us. We're all having fun here. You can check it out on the screen. What's available here. Trent McDuffie last off the board by the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, our people don't want Quay. He's not a bad player. He's just actually, for such an athletic linebacker, he's not an exciting player. Just kind of makes the plays.
I mean, look, people are overcomplicating this whole Georgia defense thing, right? We just watched one of the greatest defenses in college football history play for an extended period of time, and half of its players go into the NFL in the first round. Like, just watch the defense and tell me who the best players on it were. They're not the players that have got all the hype right now of Trayvon Walker and Quay Walker. Like, those were not the best players on this defense. They just weren't. And they're probably not going to be the best players at the next level because that defense was already like an NFL caliber defense. It's not like, the situation's going to change and all of a sudden their stars will be revealed because of the superior talent around them. No, this was already an NFL defense and other players were outshining them.
All right, Jermaine Johnson is the pick. Now people are complaining about the polls. We don't have enough players in there. All right, so it's not easy. We should have next year. We'll have a designated.
It's almost like we could have done this in a different way.
There's no better way to do it.
We're just not done it at all.
Look at this. So many people are watching, joining us here. We appreciate everybody that's just tuning in. We're going live mock draft. It's your mock draft, too. It's for the people based off the 4 options that we give you. So Jermaine Johnson is the pick for the Houston Texans at number 13. That puts the Ravens up on the clock. We've talked a lot about the 2 Georgia defensive linemen, so Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis. Wyatt's buzz is definitely further in the late first, early second. And the other thing, too, is Christian Barmore went in the second last year for whatever reason. Maybe a Wyatt doesn't go all that high. Where else would the Ravens potential? I think Karlaftis should be in play here.
His stock really sounds like it's sliding, though.
It is, but doesn't he feel like a good Ravens type of player?
Yeah, but like if this is what's going to happen, I don't think there's any way that Karlaftis is going to get picked at 14.
I don't know about predicting Ravens first rounders, but I got some data. I might be able to get their 3rd and 4th, 5th rounders, though.
That's true, yeah.
Might be able to get those guys.
I mean, we've had Linderbaum going there before, but again, his stock sounds like it's plummeting. I don't think he's in play at 14 overall. I don't know that the linebackers probably aren't either, right? Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean.
Probably not this high.
Cornerback, could they be the team that goes to the next group of corners, whether it's Andrew Booth, Kaiir Elam, those guys?
Maybe. Do they go back to the wide receiver well?
No, right?
You got Marquise Brown. Yeah,
Rashad
Bateman last year.
I can't really see.
Ravens want to trade down here, I think.
Probably, yeah. Let's add trade as an option and then hope that doesn't get that doesn't win.
They trade with their division rival Steelers.
So
for Malik Willis.
The 2 defensive linemen from Georgia trade. You want to have a 4th option or just roll with that?
Karlaftis.
Karlaftis. They're not picking Karlaftis.
He's 10 on our draft board. Just trust our evaluation there on Karlaftis. Or PFF's evaluation on Karlaftis. We're cooking now. Somebody asked if this is a 7-round mock. It absolutely is. We're going all 7 rounds.
We're going to go right into the draft.
Yeah.
All 7 rounds. And then
Tyler's real excited about this.
And then we'll move next door and we'll start reacting.
We'll break for lunch after round 4.
Yeah. No. We'll order it in.
Yeah. We'll get Ruby's. lunch delivered here.
We don't need to break. We'll go right in. We'll just bring it in.
Jeff Ruby, I know you're listening to hear for the Bengals pick. So you could just if you just fire over some lunch, we'll go a full 7 rounds here. How's this poll doing? Do we get this up?
I hope so. You tell me.
There it is.
You're in the chat.
Go Ravens. I got my pick in. Where would you go here?
Where would I go? I would take one of the defensive linemen.
One of the Georgia guys?
Yeah, look, I kind of love the idea of Jordan Davis in Baltimore's defense. I think generally 14 overall is rich for Jordan Davis, but if there's a team that knows how to work what he is, to maximize this giant body, this freakish athlete who has sky-high potential, it's Baltimore. So I kind of want to see that happen.
Yeah, of this group, I voted for Jordan Davis here. I think there's some risk there, but if I'm the Ravens, I feel confident that I can maximize his skill set and turn him into a good player. Where's the poll? 221 votes. It is all Jordan Davis. 63% for Jordan Davis.
Do you want to run and give me a quick recap because I accidentally drafted the wrong player and have to start the draft over?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jordan Davis is going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. It puts the Eagles up on the clock at 15. Should we get the poll up first?
Yeah, let's do that.
So the Eagles at 15. I kept thinking maybe Devontae Wyatt could be the guy, but I don't know if is he going to be around? Do we want to take him that high? Chris Olave has to be on the list here.
They were getting Devin Lloyd forever, but is that cooling or is that still in play here?
I feel like the Quay Walker buzz and hype is targeted. It's a couple teams or a team or two. So I'm not going to put Quay. I'm going to guess it's not the Eagles.
Okay.
For Quay Walker. So let's put Devin Lloyd on there because he's still our top ranked linebacker here.
Yeah.
You got Olave, Lloyd. What other? I don't know if Karlaftis for here. For your Brandon Graham comp?
Again, I just don't think it's happening.
You don't think he goes that high?
Are they in the cornerback market? An Andrew Booth?
Yes. Yeah, put Booth in there.
Okay.
I do think Trent McDuffie would be the best fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. You pull up your next mock draft sim here.
It's already up. I'm at pick number 4, so I just need
4 was Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Icky was 5 to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Neal goes 6th to the Carolina Panthers. Big surprise there. Sauce Gardner goes 7 to the Giants. Garrett Wilson 8 to the Falcons. Seattle takes Charles Cross at 9. Jets take Jameson Williams at 10. Commanders take Kyle Hamilton at 11. Vikings take Trent McDuffie, the corner out of Washington, at 12. Jermaine Johnson, the Florida State edge, at 13 to the Texans. And then the Ravens go Jordan Davis at 14. And we're at 15. We're at pick 15. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. And let's see. I know where I'm going. I'm going where the people went. Chris Olave is the leader.
Wow.
In the clubhouse here. Andrew Booth is really low. That's what happens when you just throw him in late. Did we forget Drake London?
No, I don't. Well, I don't think he's the guy that the Eagles are looking for. I think you're right. I don't agree with it, but I think they might snag Olave over a guy like Drake London.
At some point, maybe we just go back to the chat, just fire in names. And then you got to get 100 names, and how are you going to accumulate that?
If there's one thing,
this is awesome. This is
one thing
great.
that's going to be better than just the spamming of the chat or the poll. It's both of them at the same time.
Both at the same time. This is the way to do it. Chris Olave is the pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on, man. This is awesome. This is fun. This is draft day. It's all happening tonight. The Saints are on the clock.
Really pissing off the Saints by grabbing Olave one spot ahead of their pick.
Yeah. They wanted Olave. So they can go Drake London, Malik Willis.
Yeah. And then the 2 tackles.
Trevor Penning and Bernard Ryman.
I'm going to keep calling them Ryman.
It's Ryman.
It is.
Who said it was Raymond?
Other people and Renner.
Oh, if there's more than Renner, maybe we should listen.
There are. So what I believe has happened here is that a guy from Austria with a therefore German name has anglicized it for you people, who don't handle.
You people?
Yeah, Yankees.
I'm a Red Sox fan.
People that can't handle foreign names. So I think it should be pronounced Ryman and is being pronounced Raymond on the basis that that's what Americans can handle.
Also, just jump into the chat. Why not?
For what?
I don't know. Just keep. If we didn't put somebody in the poll, you can have a write-in vote. That's what we could do. A write-in vote. It has to be not somebody in the top 4 there.
Oh God.
Who are they going to take? Who are the Saints going to take here?
I mean, if I think they would take Olave if he was there, but if he's gone, I would imagine they'll pivot to tackle. Like they're going to go with their 2 biggest needs, tackle and wide receiver. I don't know that they would love Drake London, so I'd imagine they take their pick of Penning or Ryman.
Oh man, this is intense. 143 votes in, and we are 1 percentage point difference between Malik Willis. Willis just jumped up, and Trevor Penning. This might be Malik Willis and completely screw the Steelers. Steelers fans, here's your chance. Do you want to trade up for Malik Willis? Saints fans are listening.
Well, it's too late.
We're not doing a trade because then you got to go into the mock draft sim and
Willis it is.
Facilitate a trade. Malik Willis it is, even though 0% chance there isn't a quarterback taken already. Whatever, man. You people with your 0% chance stuff. Have you ever watched a draft? Have you ever watched an actual draft that goes nothing like all of the mock drafts? Malik Willis is the pick for the New Orleans Saints. How about that? They're going to build their quarterback room for the future while Jameis Winston can start right now. So the Saints are going Malik Willis.
Yep.
Chargers are now on the clock at 17.
Yes.
They need a right tackle, so I think Penning and Raymond are both in play there. Where else could the Chargers go here? Do they just try to crush the league with Drake London?
Does he?
And Mike Williams and Keenan Allen?
Jameson Williams feels like he fits a spot there or a skill set that the Chargers don't have. Does Drake London?
Probably not. I mean, you can make it work, but not as well as maybe Jameson Williams does.
Devontae Wyatt is in play, surely?
I think Wyatt, yeah. I mean, they did some Sebastian Joseph Day this offseason on the interior defensive line, but he could add something there. They added Khalil Mack to go with Joey Bosa, so probably not an edge anywhere there.
Is this too high for a guy like Tyler Smith, whose stock seems to be soaring? Tackle from Tulsa.
No, we could throw him in there because they need a guard too, and Tyler Smith could be a tackle/guard at the next level. So we get the 4 to choose from here for the Chargers. I think a couple of the players that they would like are off the board in this particular mock, I would say, though.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a team that's been linked with Jameson Williams a lot. I think that would be their dream scenario. Jameson Williams is sitting there at 17. Boom, run the pick in.
I don't want to influence anything, but the model likes Ryman or Raymond up at close to the other elite tackles.
Is the model able to tell you what his name is pronounced like?
It might actually change things. Remember, Renner has a theory that guys without unique names just get dropped down the board, right? He does like what? Danny Gray. Like, who wants to draft Danny Gray? Just sounds like just another guy.
Renner's theory is that people with normal names don't get drafted high.
That their stock goes down. Guys with like a Ryman or Raymond get bumped up. Danny Gray. Who wants to go watch Danny Gray? You know what I mean? You have to ask Renner about it. This is a monster win for Trevor Penning.
Somebody named Trevor Lawrence was just hailed as the greatest prospect in a decade.
It's a unique name.
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, it's not like Joe Smith or anything like that.
It kind of is.
No. Trevor Penning is the pick here.
Zach Wilson? I mean, what? This
Zach
is a terrible
with a CH
theory.
Though. Well, you have to take him on it. Where's Penning? Trevor Penning's the guy at 17. He's going to slot in at right tackle and kill some people.
Renner hates Trevor.
For the Chargers. He hates Penning?
Yeah, doesn't like him at all.
Yeah, I'm low on model Penning.
Trevor Sikkema, who was on here when you were away, doesn't like him either. These people are not factoring in the Duke Manyweather improvement program.
I will put that into the model.
You should.
I'll do a Duke adjustment in anybody that Duke's working with because he's got a pretty good history of getting better.
Right, and their issue in particular is that every loss he has is the same, right? Which, frankly, that feels like something that, if you're going to go to Duke, right, prepare for the draft, prepare for the NFL, and you have like, here's my one big problem. That feels way better than just, I'm just not a great player. Could you improve me? You know? It's like, here's what I suck at. I struggle with this particular move.
Something specific to work on.
Exactly. I got you. Give me a few weeks. We're fixed.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I'm mostly joking about the model thing, but it really is like just looking at production and measurables and what projects at the NFL level. Mekhi Becton was a major outlier in that, and he's like the only one that's gotten up to a starting caliber level of that group. He worked with Duke, so maybe there is something to that. The Eagles are on the clock here at 18. They took Chris Olave the first time around, so the receivers won't be on the board. Let's go Devin Lloyd. Let's go Karlaftis, Devontae Wyatt, and anyone else we're missing here. Do they go Booth in this group as well for the Eagles?
Did you fire up the consensus board?
Let me see here. It was somewhere. I'm getting peppered with other messages. I'm sifting through here. This is great. This is good. This is
beautiful
what the listeners want here.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Who else might be missing from the
radio.
consensus board? Linderbaum to be the next Jason Kelsey? No.
See, this is where it gets kind of chaotic because cornerback, I think the rankings can be all over the place. Like, I like Andrew Booth as the next guy. I think there are people that love Kyer Elam as the next corner.
It's probably too high for Daxton Hill, but he's a top 32 player on the consensus board.
Well, he's another one of those players where we're like, what is he? Is he a safety? Is he a slot corner? Yeah. Same with Jalen Petre from Baylor. Is he a slot corner, which is basically what he's ever played? Renner thinks that's what he is. Or is he a safety, which is what he moves like, which is what a lot of people are projecting him to be. So the whole kind of defensive back generally at this point in the draft gets a little bit weird.
Safety is the position where you just get random safeties.
Yeah.
In the top 10, in the teens, in the first round that you wouldn't expect.
And a lot of it is because of things like this, right? Like you look at Petrie, and it's like he hasn't really played safety at all. He played slot corner. Now, he played slot corner in a defense that sort of gives you some safety assignments, right? Like quarters coverage where you end up dropping into a quarter of a deep quarter and essentially playing it like a safety. But it isn't the same thing as seeing a guy line up as a single high free safety and playing the game that way. But to me, on tape, he moves like a safety. So teams are now having to project that guy to a safety with all the guesswork that entails, which is what we're talking about with, Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall, and all the things that the projection that needs to be done there with Jordan Davis. It's not easy. And particularly with defensive backs, I think that happens a lot, which is why they're like the rankings are all over the place.
All right, the chat has gone Devin Lloyd for the Eagles here. The chat has also revolted against George Karlaftis.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying Boye Mafe over him. I just want to say this isn't just a PFF take. On the consensus board, Karlaftis is 18th.
Yeah, but the NFL doesn't see it.
Mafe's 35th. Just saying.
Just saying the NFL does not like your boy George Karlaftis. Doesn't
my
like
boy.
Him. Your boy.
My boy?
Your boy.
So Devin Lloyd's the pick here.
Yep.
For the Eagles. Going back to like January, that was the connection. The Saints are back on the clock. They already took Malik Willis. Wide receiver in need, so Drake London, Bernard Ryman are in play here.
All right, who else is, though?
Who else for the Saints? You definitely wanted to come away with a receiver and or attack. Tyler Smith at tackle.
Can they put him in at left tackle day one?
Tyler Smith?
Yeah.
Probably not as cleanly as Raymond. I'm just going to flip back and forth.
Are they going to be looking at the next group of wide receivers? Are they in on George Pickens or Sky Moore?
Pickens, definitely.
Jahan Dotson.
I would say Pickens.
Okay.
Have an X to go with Michael Thomas, the Z. I think that Pickens would be the only guy that they might pick here at receiver.
Or Drake London.
Oh, or Drake London. Yeah. I'm saying of that next group, sorry. Mm-hmm. So the poll's up. Saints are coming up. Weapons. Are we getting weapons from Malik Willis / Jameis Winston?
Weapons from Malik Willis.
Steelers are up next.
What a guy to learn from. Jameis, Can you imagine like day one, Malik Willis rolls in there and goes, let me show you my workouts. You're gonna need a big bouncy ball. You're gonna need a chain. You're gonna need a frisbee and some kind of collapsible tent. Go.
Collapsible tent. And here's how I read coverages. with
You're
my
going to need a
fresh eyes.
swinging tire. Like, it's just madness.
We forgot Traylon Burks. Burks would be – so he is higher on the consensus board as well. Traylon Burks is 21.
Yeah.
Which is, right there. Certainly ahead of George Pickens.
But there's a much more, like –
Is Pickens too standard of a name?
No.
It's a little too standard.
A little too standard. Huh.
Drake London's going to be the guy, though, here for the Saints. 50% of the voters wanted Drake London. He's the selection for the Saints, viewers and listeners of the PFF NFL podcast. They want Drake London to the Saints. What if this is how it falls, Saints fans? Are you happy with Malik Willis and Drake London? The next Marcus Colston over there in New Orleans in that system. So it puts the Steelers up on the clock. We know they've been tied to Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to put 2 quarterbacks on here, though, to choose from. Hometown boy Kenny Pickett, and then Desmond Ridder. I think is the other potential option. I think I would go Tyler Linderbaum as an option here for the Steelers. He's an option. He's certainly an option. Maybe Ryman. Do they want any? Is there anything else exciting that they would want besides offensive line plus quarterback?
Defensive line reinforcements or getting younger. Stephon Tuitt's been injured a lot. Hayward isn't getting any younger.
I don't know if there's any good fit. I don't think Wyatt's a good fit for them there, though.
Why not?
Jordan Davis would have been.
Why isn't Wyatt a good fit?
Just gets wrecked against double teams.
Everybody gets wrecked against double
It's more
teams.
of a double. He's more of a penetrator. Steelers still play old school 3-man fronts a lot.
I don't know.
They do.
They feel like a team that could easily be the random safety team.
Lewis Cine?
Yeah. To replace the last one they did.
They brought in Terrell Edmonds. They brought him back, but it was kind of an afterthought. You put Cine in there?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see if Steelers fans, do they want Pickett? They might hate these options.
Maybe.
The fans might just not even pick here.
Well, God knows we're not in tight with Steelers fans these days, so whatever we do is likely to
I'll be on Steelers radio later today,
Perfect.
Thursday afternoon, my 4:30 hit.
You can justify your errors.
My vote's in.
Yeah.
Look, there's not even any votes. Nobody's even voting. Steelers fans don't want to vote. Kenny Pickett's the early leader. They want the hometown boy.
Look, Pickett at 20 is a lot more palatable than Pickett at 6.
It is.
It's still not great, but it's
still taking a shot.
Yeah.
Highest graded quarterback in this draft class last year. Problem is, previous years he was in the 60s and 70s. That's the consistency problem.
Yeah, one problem.
Do you buy into the 1-year breakout of Kenny Pickett? One Steelers fan wants Cole Kelly. I know this because he's using all caps. So it's got to be a Steelers fan.
Good for him.
Kenny Pickett's going to take it. He's got 46%. We're calling it. We're calling it for Kenny Pickett. He is the choice for the Steelers. Staying in Pittsburgh.
Got to scroll down.
Where is he? Where's he on our board? 42. Kenny Pickett is the choice at number 20. Now, Patriots are on the clock at number 21. Quay Walker has to be on the list here. This is for Eric's bets.
Andrew Booth.
K.R. Elam. A couple corners there. And Karlaftis for them.
Really? No. Look, Karlaftis is not – the dude's slipping out of the first round.
You just don't want to put him up there. 18th on the consensus board.
Nakobe Dean?
Oh, he's so undersized. They would not take a linebacker that small.
Really?
I don't think so. They're the team that looks at Quay Walker looking like me and Nakobe Dean looking like you side by side, and they're like, no way. Give me the tall guy. What about Travis Jones?
Travis Jones.
They like big boys in the first round. You know that.
Uh-huh.
I really think Jaquan Brisker should be in play there. I don't know if the NFL values him in the 20s. He could be that sneaky first-round safety, though.
All right, give me one more name. I don't care who it is. Throw me one.
Offensive line. They need to think.
That's not a name.
Is Ryman part of this? Yeah, put Ryman in. They got to think to the future for the offensive line. They like to think 1 year ahead. I think, would they get Trent Brown for just one more year there?
Uh-huh.
Not the most exciting Patriots picks. I mean, we would put Patriots fans want receivers. They just traded for Devontae Parker, but they would still want more receivers, more weapons for Mac Jones. That's what you would want. Patriots at 21. What are the Packers going to do at 22? A lot of the receivers are already off the board. A lot of the players. So I think some of the teams are looking around in this particular iteration of the mock draft thinking, I don't like the options here.
Sure.
I don't like the options here. Let's see how the Patriots are
Which
doing
is,
here.
generally speaking, how a lot of trades manifest. But again, it's like who is looking to jump into these spots for these options?
Quay Walker's leading. Quay Walker is leading right now. People are going predictive mock here.
I just imagine watching that Georgia defense and being like, yeah, that's the linebacker I want, not Nakobe Dean.
Patricia yearns for Quay Walker. Like, I get the Quay Walker stuff. I get that he's good, and he's just a solid, safe linebacker. But there he is. He's the pick. We're 200 votes in. Patriots are taking Quay Walker in the first round, the PFF NFL podcast fan mock draft. It's all happening. Now, where's Quay on our board? We just moved him up to linebacker 4. He's at 45 on the PFF draft board.
So last season for Georgia, top 2 graded players on this defense. Nakobe Dean, 91.7. Devontae Wyatt, 90.0. Quay Walker, he was the 19th best graded player on this defense. Okay, let's cut that to like 15th if we cut out small sample size guys, with a grade of 71.7.
But he's 6'4" and fast.
Yeah. And that's, by the way, a couple of spots ahead of Trayvon Walker, who went, number 1 overall with a grade of 70.
Linebacker is one of the positions where you would look at the grade, you would weigh the grade less, though.
Sure. I'm still, like, the grade matches what you see from tape, though. Like, you watch those.
Get some Packers play. I haven't checked Quay in my model.
You watch the tape, and it's like, which one of these linebackers do you want?
Okay, this is interesting.
If you tell me that the model loves Quay Walker, I'm just walking off this set.
This model has him right next to, this particular iteration of it, right next to Darius Leonard, who's the only guy that has not had a below-average career in that vicinity. Jabril Cox, last year's 4th rounder for the Cowboys. Baron Browning. Darius Leonard, who I mentioned. Ernest Jones, 3rd rounder last year out of South Carolina that went to the Rams. So that's the weighted version. Let's see. Where's the 63 rank here? This other version's going to have him, pretty close to Darius Leonard, Joel Igbenogany. No, not Dakota Allen. Remember you used to like him?
Yeah.
Quay Walker. Kenneth Murray, 1st-round pick out of Oklahoma, who has had a below-average career. Nathan Gary, Jordan Evans. Those are the guys who are similar to Quay Walker in that iteration of my linebacker model. You making some choices here for the Packers?
Well, so 2 wide receivers, George Pickens and Treylon Burks. Are other receivers in this market?
I don't think Sky Moore's going to go this high, right?
No.
He's 22 on our board. This is pick 22, but I don't think so.
Have you got the consensus board there? Where is Jahan Dotson? Because he's a lot higher than we have him or I have.
He's still not that high. He's 32.
Okay, so it's a reach for him as well. So
I think Devontae, where's Wyatt on the consensus board? He's 27. I think Wyatt could be a potential option here.
All right, Wyatt, who's our 4th guy.
Would they go offensive line depth as well?
They could.
Tyler Smith.
Ryman.
Go Ryman here, too. I mean, that poor dude's been in every single selection.
Well, look, we can't even agree on his name. There's no way he's getting drafted.
Well, it's because we can't agree on his name that we have to say it every single time. Appreciate everybody for tuning in here. We're biased against Pittsburgh, but people say.
Of course. Well, we've ticked that box at least. That's a standard podcast.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the chat? I'm always curious. What's definitely not going to happen on draft night? There's all this this will never happen stuff, and then every year there's just crazy stuff. So
the last thing I mean, there's been a lot. I've been talking about George Pickens a lot in this whole pre-draft process, and a lot of stuff came out in the last week or so that was anonymous scouts and all that kind of stuff, saying the guy has top 5 receiver tape, but off-field is a problem. Character, maturity. I mean, he's got in fights.
They usually went maturity. It wasn't like anything legal, but maturity was the thing, right?
He's got in fights. He's violated team rules. He's just general. And there's been the things that were being said is he needs to go to a stable locker room where they're going to keep on top of him. You know what I mean? That would just be annoying. I hate that kind of stuff where it's quite possibly true, and the reason that a guy would A, not go as high, and B, might not succeed at the next level, but there's obviously no real way of telling that from just watching the dude's tape, which is great.
I want to respond to that because Traylon Burks is the pick, by the way, for the Packers. 44%. Just beats out George Pickens at 33%. I keep saying this, though. When teams have multiple picks, aren't you more willing to take those swings? I'm not saying you treat picks differently, but again, you take that potential massive
maybe, but isn't that
Pickens, or does it ruin your locker room? How do you view that whole thing?
Right. It may be, but that's kind of what we crap all over Jacksonville for doing, right? Maybe you should just take the guy you think has the best chance of being the best player.
We dropped Traylon Burks all the way to 46 on our draft board. Renner didn't like him, but the consensus board has him right around this pick. 22 to the Packers, it's Traylon Burks. We say that about Jacksonville if that's every single pick, though, Sam. Right? We've always hedged with the Packers and say, take one George Pickens and one Sky Moore. And I think in between those two, you'll get what you need, a safer player and more of a high-risk, high-reward type player in Pickens. All right, the Cardinals are on the clock. I think all the guards need to be on the board here. That includes Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson. Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green's a late first rounder, I think, for a lot. Let's see. Consensus, he's at 25 on the consensus board. We dropped him heavily on our board.
So
I
Kenyon
don't
Green,
know.
Zion Johnson.
Would they have Linderbaum on their board thinking about the future and Rodney Hudson getting older?
I mean, at this point, they should, but who knows? Linderbaum and Tyler Smith, I think, should be in play with his.
We're just going to go offensive line for them because defensive line, we got to put Karlaftis here again.
Well, I think those 4 offensive linemen are all in play. Is there a other positioned player that you would put in instead of one of them?
Who are the 4?
Linderbaum, Tyler Smith, Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green.
Yeah, those are all interior offensive linemen because I think that's where they're going to go.
Right.
I think those would be the guys.
So that's
you're just putting offensive linemen out there.
I just told you, if you had somebody that you think is worthy of putting above one of them.
Oh, you mean above
shout
one
it
of
out.
them?
If not, that's what it is.
Poor Cardinals fans, stuck with offensive line here no matter what.
Look, it's not sexy, but it might be the best thing you can do. Kyler's not happy. Kyler wants his money. Maybe if you're not going to give him money, you can at least give him an offensive lineman. That's all I'm saying.
The guy, Chris Rings, who sent us that ridiculous setup, I thought he was on this super cool website, right? He said, no. I said, so what site are you using? He said, no, it's a program I wrote, displays a PC to the 7 TVs, pulls from a spreadsheet. Nothing is broadcasted, only local since it uses paid data.
Wow.
So he's created his own homespun draft room in a program that projects. So he's got 15 TVs there. Check out my Twitter. I retweeted it.
I would say that genuinely is better than certain NFL teams' draft rooms.
That's 8 TVs or monitors that he has there with projected. He's got all the draft selections. He's got player profiles in there. And all I'm saying is I want this to be my office.
Yeah.
I would hire him to come build that in my office.
That's insane. If that's his own proprietary, setup in terms of the data and stuff that it's showing, that's wild. That genuinely, I think, is better than some NFL teams' draft rooms.
All right, so 200-plus picks are in. It really is. Cardinals are taking Zion Johnson, BC guard, well over Tyler Linderbaum, who came in second. So Zion Johnson is going to the Cardinals. Probably got to move over to right guard. That's
going to make the Dallas Cowboys upset.
Cowboys really want.
They're going to panic like last year and draft Micah Parsons again.
Yeah, don't want to panic. Zion Johnson's going to the
maybe
Arizona
that should be
Cardinals.
The solution. Maybe actually, Dallas does its best work when panicked. Right?
Yeah. We missed on Paxton Lynch.
Well, yeah, you snag the 2 corners we wanted. Oh, one of them's going to be available. Boom, both gone. Oh crap, Micah Parsons. Well, that worked out well. We're going to get Paxton Lynch. Nope, gone. Dak Prescott in the 4th. Perfect. This appears to be the solution. Whatever the plan for Dallas, somebody should be working away on the phones in the background, ensuring that somebody drafts that player before Dallas, so that their panicked solution is to grab a Pro Bowler.
Would their panic solution here be?
So Zion Johnson's just gone.
George Pickens.
George Pickens is the panic.
Would Dallas go for that crazy high upside play? Talk X receiver, right? I mean, even CD Lamb doesn't always get the X receiver. He is, but CD Lamb's much better when you have a running mate.
Well, Lamb I think he can be, but hasn't been yet.
They haven't played him like that either, you know?
That's what I mean. So now
I would put Pickens on the board here and see.
Okay.
Pickens, and then if you do want to fill the need, you go Kenyon Green. I don't think they're going to get rid of Biotish at center, so I wouldn't go Linderbaum there. But Linderbaum could be their next
I think that they
Travis Frederick.
would also be, or should also be in the market at right tackle. So either Ryman or Tyler Smith. Do you want to pick one of those?
Go Ryman. Trust the model. Devontae Wyatt, interior defensive line, should be an option here as well.
Okay.
For the Cowboys. They're rumored, they're rumored to maybe one of the edges, the top edge defenders here?
They were, we talked about that yesterday. They were one of the teams that was potentially willing to trade up if Kayvon Thibodeau starts to slide. That didn't happen. Jermaine Johnson went as well, at which point I don't think anybody that they were looking at is available.
I am really tempted by George Pickens here.
Well, luckily you're not the one deciding this. It's
well, I have to make one vote though. I'm one of the voters.
You are. I'm just not sure your vote is going to sway it.
I'm going with my early selections here were interior defensive line. So I chose Wyatt, not to sway anybody there. But, you know, the next K1 Short, who did go in the second round, by the way.
The next K1 Short.
This poll's tight now. Kenyon Green's pulling away here. Kenyon Green is starting to pull away. Nobody wants Pickens for Dallas. Nobody wanted my
K1 Short went in the second while they drafted star Lodolele in the first.
That's true. They did go back-to-back defensive tackle. Short was a better player.
Yep.
Kenyon Green, 37%. We're exactly 200 votes. Kenyon Green, guard, is the pick. Now the Bucs are just upset because they can't get their starting guard. Kenyon Green is the pick for the Dallas Cowboys. In the final board, we moved him to 39. He's 25 on the consensus board, but the PFF board has moved him to 39. Buffalo Bills next up on the clock.
Two corners.
The two corners, Andrew Booth, Kyer
Kyer
Elam.
Elam.
Any other corners? No, because that's our drop-off, I would say. Would they start looking to safety for the future? They've got
there too.
They have Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer with, you know, one of those future-looking type of picks here.
I don't know.
Future Buffalo Bill Tyler Linderbaum.
I know. I thought about that.
Is on the board here.
Since his stock is on the slide, I don't think we need to open that particular can of worms.
I kind of wanted to put him up there just to see him get 8% votes because they already have Mitch Morse.
But this is a predictive, not a what you should do. That's the difference. Is receiver an option? Sky Moore or Jahan Dotson?
Oh man, I think Dotson might be a good fit for them, but they're already pretty loaded at receiver.
Well, they are, but they've let that turn over a little bit. So I certainly think they could be in the market.
You have Gabriel Davis, Stephon Diggs. They brought somebody else in while losing Cole Beasley, right?
Are they? They're not going to be in the edge rusher market, given what they just invested there.
Devontae Wyatt, maybe.
They brought in Tim Settle. They've turned over the defensive line a little bit. I think they still probably in the market for either a Devontae Wyatt or a Travis Jones.
Travis Jones would be interesting here.
Let's throw him on there.
Because they still have Ed Oliver. Do you want the 330-pounder?
And picked up his fifth-year option.
Yeah. Do you want the 330-pounder there rather than a Wyatt and redundant penetrator?
Have you watched Travis Jones's pass rushes?
Yes.
They're pretty funny to watch because they're all the same, right? It's like run towards the guy, take your right hand, club him to the side, and then run past the gap that you opened up.
He's a hands winner at 330
It's not even a hand. It's like club.
Club, yeah.
Right? We take this one arm, and we club the 300-pound guy in front of me, and I move him a yard to the left, and then I run through that space.
My issue with Travis Jones is the bull rushes don't look like, say, Jordan. When he does bull rush, it doesn't look like Jordan Davis, right? Jordan Davis will collapse the pocket.
Yeah.
Travis Jones has like the slow collapse.
Well, because he doesn't have
that pure power for a 330-pounder.
And the length. Like, the thing that Jordan Davis has is freakish arm length. So when he makes first contact and throws you backwards as an offensive lineman, you're screwed because the dude weighs 340 and you now have none of the leverage.
Wow, this is domination in this pick here. It's all Andrew Booth.
That's right.
I did go back and watch a little bit more Andrew Booth. He's got some really good interceptions. I understand the upside with Booth.
I like Andrew Booth a lot.
But I think there are some red flags there as well. I would go Kyer Elam here.
Oh, now we get to the next pick that everyone's going to hate. Tennessee.
Titans are on the board.
Tyler
Booth,
Smith.
I'm calling it for Booth. 190 votes in.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Booth is the selection for the Buffalo Bills.
Tyler Smith.
Just give the Titans fans one option. just to troll. Just troll the Titans.
George Pickens?
Yeah, put Pickens in there for sure.
We had a guy explain their whole process, right? There were acceptable choices.
Andrew Booth.
Offensive line was one of them.
Let's go check the Titans emails.
Let's give him wide receiver.
Receiver's definitely one of them.
They're not going to be looking for a safety.
Voice of the forgotten franchise, David Frost. We already read his email. Number one, it's got to be offense. 2, a wide receiver is preferred.
Mm-hmm.
3, offensive line is another option. Look at you, David Frost, new star of the show. We just go back and answer him.
I mean, is Sky Moore in play?
They're also willing to take chances on guys like Jeffrey Simmons, Caleb Farley, so
injuries
could be there.
Yeah.
So who's injured? David Ajabo.
So Tyler Smith, George Pickens, I think are 2. What other options are we giving them?
So right tackle and guard. So Ryman has to be in there too. He could be their next special right tackle. Man, I kind of like that if he falls there for the Titans.
Anyone else? Who's the 4th? Sky Moore? John Dotson?
Anybody but a linebacker. I don't know. So, like, Sky Moore feels like a complimentary piece for teams.
Yeah. Complimentary to, say, A.J. Brown.
Yeah, throw Sky Moore in there. I feel like we're too low on Jahan Dotson. The boss loves him. Chris. Chris likes receivers that just know what they're doing. Right place. And Solly was like this when we had Solomon Wilcots here working with us at PFF. Guys who played in the NFL and when you see sight adjustments and just feel for the position and all that stuff. I think some of us get caught up in the spectacular or whatever, speed and measurables and all that stuff. And Dotson certainly has spectacular catches, but I know Chris was like really keen on like the dude just knows what he's doing. Like he's just going to go out there and be productive. And so he's kind of high on him, Dotson in general. So I think Dotson, I think you could see NFL teams maybe thinking through that lens as well.
It's fascinating when you watch people articulate their reasons, particularly for receiver, because you very rarely, and this isn't a criticism of anybody because I do it, you very rarely apply the criteria universally across everybody. So everything you would say to endorse Jahan Dotson. So I don't really like Jahan Dotson. I watch his tape and I'm like, he's just not, the only thing he's great at is catching, right? Which obviously as a receiver is a pretty important part of your job, but like being able to catch the ball really reliably is actually a counterintuitively small part of your job, right? You're actually, the way bigger part is to be open in the first place so that when the ball arrives, you can catch it. The fact that you're able to catch it once it arrives is like, okay, it's great, but there's a lot else involved in the job. Yeah. But that's the one thing. And when you look at the rest of it, even like his signature plays, there's a crazy one-handed catch he has down the sideline where the first half of that play is him getting crushed off the field in press coverage. So any case that you make for Jahan Dotson also endorses Sky Moore. You know what I mean?
I see where you're going with this.
So
Tyler Smith is the pick, by the way, for the Titans.
So when you what I find interesting is when you have a guy that's like, oh, I love Jahan Dotson. This guy's a star. He's going to go in the first round. And it's like, well, do you have a similar love for Sky Moore, or why have we separated these? Why have we focused on Dotson as the guy you love and not Sky Moore? And it's the same. I would ask myself the same question, right? Which is, what is it about Sky Moore that separates him from Jahan Dotson? Because again, a lot of the things you would endorse Sky Moore for, you could also make the case for Dotson. Now, I think there are a few, and I would bring them up. But generally, I think that people get themselves into trouble that way. Like, particularly when you look rounds 2, 3, 4 in this draft, there's a whole load of wide receivers that look very similar. And it's like
to
each other.
To each other, I get you, yeah.
And you're like, well, I like these guys. I don't like these guys. Like, well, why?
I think a lot of the separators in those rounds, it's like Tyquan Thornton runs sub 4.3. So it's like, all right, I'll take that guy round 3 or 4 because he's got something different.
But generally, I think people sometimes fall into that trap a little bit of you just decide you like a guy, and then you can come up with reasons why you like him, but those reasons don't necessarily separate him from other players that you don't like as much. And sometimes articulating why there are those differences is difficult. Tampa Bay.
This mock draft is fantastic right now. The Bucs, if the Bucs were going in trying to fill their need at left guard, they will be upset, I think, that Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, and Tyler Smith just went in 3 out of the last 4 picks. Ryman doesn't project to go to play guard. So as far as who can be an option here, I think Devontae Wyatt, interior defensive line, I would put Devontae Wyatt and Travis Jones in there because they've got they could use more depth.
Dude, Travis Jones lining up next to
Vita Vea
would be
and they could do
hilarious.
Like Jones is a different type of player, right? Like we were talking about.
Try running on that, though.
Lewis Seen. So I think the safeties are in play, too, with Lewis Seen. They've been maybe linked to him a little bit. Now, is this where we put a running back in there?
Wow.
Do you put a Breece Hall in as an option here? Speed in the backfield.
Let's do it.
Would they consider anyway, would they consider receiver? Like, would they consider like a George Pickens? They're already loaded with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but you just take a shot because of the because you don't want to have.
I mean, it's possible. I didn't put that in the poll, so it's not going to happen this time. But sure, it's an option. It is an option. This is, I mean, there are a few teams now where we've come across the pick and the draft has not fallen in an ideal scenario for those teams. I would say this is another one where Tampa Bay probably wants to fill that spot on the offensive line. There's no real way of doing it here. The 2 offensive linemen that would be top are Ryman, a pure tackle, Linderbaum, a pure center, and we've seen them move Ryan Jensen before to guard, and that hasn't worked particularly well. So they're not taking either of those guys.
Well, the other interesting thing, too, is they took Joe Tryon-Shoyinka.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
and you have Shaq Barrett locked up.
I could see them drafting an edge rusher.
Do you think they might go with another one there?
It's possible.
Because you've got Karlaftis on the board.
That next tier of edge rushers is pretty interesting, whether it's Boye Mafe, Arnold Ebiketie, Drake Jackson,
Ebiketie's my guy.
Nick Benito. I think how that group is ranked is all over the place as well. Like a Jabo at some point is in the conversation as well.
Did you see our friend Drew Rosenhaus tweeting through one of the mouthpieces that Drake Jackson could be a first-round pick?
Yeah. I mean, so obviously it's Drew Rosenhaus tweeting that. So
of course.
On the other hand,
my client looks like one of the best 32 players in the draft.
I could see that, right? Like he's ranked way lower than that. I think he's like 60 or something on the consensus board. But when you throw on Drake Jackson's tape, he has more of those plays. The textbook play that everybody wants to see from an edge rusher, right? That Von Miller dip and bend to the outside and run the arc around a tackle lightning quick. Robert Quinn as well. Those plays. Drake Jackson has more of those and more picture perfect than anybody else in this draft class. So if that's what you're looking for, like if you're a team that I want to replicate what Robert Quinn does, if that's what your target is for a speed edge rusher, Drake Jackson would be very high on your board.
And you could see people having Drake Jackson over Boye Mafe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ebiketie and some of those other guys, right? Devontae Wyatt, by the way, that's the pick.
By a landslide.
By a landslide for the Tampa Bay Bucks there, because that was those are the options that we gave. Puts the Green Bay Packers up on the clock. First time around, they got Treylon Burks, so they did get a receiver from Arkansas. They've been linked to edge defender. You got to put Karlaftis up for this one as well. Got to put Ryman up for this one as well.
Again.
Linderbaum. Could they go? So they drafted a center, Josh Myers last year. Drafted a center in the second round.
Right,
to
but
play.
He's not Linderbaum.
I think Travis Jones. And do they double up? Do we put Pickens in this as well, or Sky Moore? Do you double up at receiver?
So Ryman, Karlaftis. I think
there's
Pickens,
a lot of options here for the Packers, and it's not because they have massive holes, but it's like they have enough places where they can upgrade.
Ryman, Karlaftis. Give me 2 more. I think Linderbaum should be in the conversation. At this point, the value is too good.
Over doubling up a receiver or Travis Jones?
Well, not necessarily doubling, but there's 1 more now. So either Travis Jones or give me a receiver.
I'm put Pickens. Okay. Pickens or more.
Pickens
is different than Treylon Burks. They're both big, though.
I mean, they're both different from Treylon Burks.
They're both different from Treylon Burks. Sure.
That's your 4.
Ryman, Linderbaum. You really put Linderbaum in there. How do you just...
Dude, Linderbaum is the best center we've seen come into the NFL in more than half a decade.
So what?
So that's important. That's useful. And it's pick number 28.
Yeah, it's important for pick 31. He's going to the Bengals here in this mock draft. I'll tell you that. He's going to go to the Bengals at 31. That's where he's going to go. And that might be the right fit.
I hope the chat ignores you and drafts him.
I'll vote for Linderbaum. I'm one of the 11%. Because everyone else, Karlaftis, the slide is over. 38 volts, 128 volts in, and I'm calling for Karlaftis already. Now it's close. Pickens could make a comeback here. It's between George Pickens and George Karlaftis here for the Packers. Do you want to double up a receiver? We're going to play fantasy football. Who's going to lead you to a championship more? George Karlaftis and what he could become, or George Pickens? It's one of the Georges.
It's Pickens, or no, it's not. It's Karlaftis.
It's Karlaftis. No, go Pickens and Burks, man. You had such an opportunity, Packers.
Because I already clicked Karlaftis.
I did too. Karlaftis is the pick. The slide's over. He's going to the Packers. That puts the Chiefs up on the clock. Back-to-back picks here. So it could be the same group. Minus, you add one. Boye Maffe's got to be a part of this. They've been linked to him quite a bit.
I mean, I would say the receivers have to be.
Pickens and Sky Moore.
And probably Dotson, right?
And Dotson?
Yeah. I mean, I think if we like Sky Moore at this point, I think generally people like John Dotson.
What if we do one that's like all the receivers and one that's all the edges, and they're going to come away with a receiver and an edge, and we feel that's what they're going to, because I guess they could go corner.
Who's the fourth receiver?
Maybe it doesn't have to be four receivers.
We just give them three. Okay, Boye Mafe. Who are your three edges? Arnold Ebiketie?
Definitely Ebiketie.
I need to know how to spell that.
It's Ebiketie. Ebiketie. Perfect.
Okay, got it. Who else?
Boye We're just looking at Mafe and Nick Benito. Or Drake Jackson, because Drew Rosenhaus said he could go in the first round.
Both. Nick.
There we go. Chiefs are taking an edge, and then they're going to take a receiver. Ajabo. Could go David Ajabo, too. It's too late, though. You just sent everybody.
Yeah, two different polls.
George Pickens, Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson for one. Boye Mafe, Ebiketie, Nick Benito, Drake Jackson House.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you did there. Dax Hill. Yeah. Here's the other thing, too. They could go secondary. We don't want to completely ignore the secondary. Corner's an issue. They lose Tyrann Mathieu, so Daxton Hill's that type of player. Lewis Seen would be a really good player in that system.
That's also another spot where, like, David Ajabo could be in play, even with the Achilles injury.
Yeah. This is what's interesting about the Chiefs' selection here, right? Because we talked about them potentially moving up for that one player.
Yeah.
But holes on the line, holes at receiver. They do have plenty of draft picks. You fill those later, but it's not like they're going to be sitting here and, missing needs here. Ebiketie's my guy, man.
Uh-huh.
I would go with him there. He's not going to win, though.
Nope. Boye Mafe.
Boye Mafe. We're calling it for him. For Mafe. Mafe's the first pick here, and then we're going to pick a receiver. You put three receivers in there. Throw a DB in there, though.
Who? What?
You only put three receivers in this next poll.
Yes.
Put a DB in there, too, just to give him a
defensive back.
Yeah.
I thought you were naming a player. I was like, what?
A defensive back is what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, okay.
So Maffe's going first. I can't wait till we get to round 7.
Give Tyler a defensive back to throw in there.
And add Kaiir Elam. Does he know that you sent him 2 polls?
I believe so. I don't believe the man is dumb.
But I don't know. He's got to do a lot of things here. So it's Pickens, Sky Moore, Jahan Dotson. Did he post it yet?
No. Look, there's a guy in the chat giving it the Steve plan of we need to double down at edge.
Ooh, big double down guy.
Yeah.
At the right positions, though, I wouldn't do it at edge. Go receiver here. Or that one cornerback. Could be like Kaiir Elam.
Abraham Elam's son, which I didn't know until like yesterday.
You were into their stories, right?
Yeah. Abraham Elam has a wild backstory. Man's seen some stuff.
Look at that. Tyler's the man here. Is this where George Pickens goes?
Wow. Kaiir Elam has weirdly short arms for a dude who excels in press coverage.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows that, look, arm length is important, but it's not everything. I mean, that guy is able to get into a chest plate of a receiver.
There's a couple ways to press, though, right? Like, I don't want to misspeak here, but did Revis make a ton of actual physical contact when he pressed, or was he just great at mirroring?
Certainly off the line. Revis's contact came once the guy was in phase.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, he wasn't like some dudes, like Asamoah would pop a dude, right, and use his length and just know how to, like, throw them off. You can play press by mirroring. So,
but Kaiir Elam does jam receivers at the line a lot, and yet is able to do it successfully.
I thought he was off balance a lot in press. I thought he was kind of hit or miss when he played press. But
somebody in my mentions the other day talking about Hutchinson was trying to make the argument that it's when you factor in wingspan, it's like a 6.5-inch difference between Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. I was trying to point out that there's no like pass rush move that relies on a guy being an albatross and like that length being the important one.
No, it's usually a one-arm.
Like even the one-arm, long-arm thing, it's one arm. It's that 32-inch length, not the 74, whatever we're talking about.
By the way, George Pickens is the choice for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
What if we just give the Bengals Tyler Linderbaum as an option?
Just 4 Tyler Linderbaums.
Yeah.
Which one wins?
So they just signed Lyle Collins. They don't need another tackle. Linderbaum has to be the option here, one of the options. Linebacker could be in play.
Linderbaum is. Kyrie Elam is an option.
Oh, yeah, I like Elam here for them. Kyler Gordon.
Yes.
We're forgetting about Kyler Gordon a little bit in some of these corner moves here.
And who's the fourth guy you want to give them?
Could they be in the edge market?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals, pretty much anything is in play. So
Daxton Hill or Arnold Ebiketie?
Any of those defensive backs, Seen, Hill, Petrie, like almost anything is on the table for Cincinnati.
I'll go not safety. Oh, so let's say corner. You said Elam?
We've already given them Elam and Gordon as options. Linderbaum.
Let's go with
one more.
Let's go with Ebiketie just to give them an edge option here. And then the Lions are up at 32. Look at this is faster than we would have done it, Sam. This is way faster. Tyler, you're a champ, man. You're awesome. Logan Hall. A lot of people are Logan Hall in it.
Yeah, that's a popular one for Cincinnati actually recently. Probably should have put that in the poll. If enough people shout Logan Hall in the chat, we might.
Should we redo it? If enough people shout Logan Hall, we'll choose him. Go ahead.
There's a lot of people shouting Logan Hall.
They don't want Linderbaum, huh?
No, people hate Linderbaum. People are going to regret it.
Nick Benito. People want Benito. Hall 6'6", 283. Mm-hmm. He is the prototype old school 3-4 defensive end as far as his size goes. But like fire low out of your stance, penetrator, like he does a lot of things really well. Houston's had this run, right? I mean, Peyton Turner last year, and they've had this run of just really athletic defensive linemen. Do we go away from the
I think Linderbaum? Enough people are shouting Logan Hall that we might need to overrule the poll.
But Linderbaum is crushing it. All right, Tyler, don't put a pick in yet. I think
it's Logan Hall.
We have 64% Linderbaum.
You want a 50-50? You want to set a new poll? Linderbaum versus Hall.
New poll. Tyler Linderbaum and Logan Hall. Let's do it.
Okay.
Linderbaum versus Hall. We're calling an audible here. We got to do it. It's got to be scientific. Since pick 2, it's been scientific here.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's been. There it is. Linderbaum or Hall. I know which way I'd go. It's 50-50 so far. It's really close.
Yes. On like 2 votes, presumably.
How much coffee am I going to drink today?
Quite a lot.
You got your morning coffee.
Speaking of coffee,
and then
somebody reached out.
Coffee.
It wasn't Nespresso. They didn't reach out to us.
Nespresso did not reach out to us.
Somebody else did.
Do we give them publicity right now? Because he's going to send us some coffee, so why not?
Yeah.
Death Wish.
Death Wish coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, immediately I'm intrigued. Death Wish coffee. You know?
It's the strongest coffee around, they tell me.
The strongest
We
coffee
appreciate
around.
We're going to get back to you, deathwishcoffee.com.
We absolutely will.
And look, we like free things.
I mean, we like coffee as well.
We really like coffee.
Yeah.
Powered by coffee.
Tonight
I'll be powered by Nespresso and whatever we have in the machine upstairs here at the offices, but I'm happy to be powered by Death Wish.
We will absolutely drink that coffee.
Oh, you're already throwing them up there. They're not paying for this yet. Yeah, Tyler, come on, man.
Back, Tyler. Come on.
I'm just kidding.
We're going to talk about them. I'm not sure I'd run their ad live on the show.
That's fine. No, I mean, it's for free coffee. Tyler, you get some too.
Who won? What was the poll?
236 votes are in, and it is Linderbaum. Oh, see, the chat lied.
Wow, by a lot.
The chat lied. Linderbaum wins 72%. Tyler Linderbaum is the pick.
Just shows how bad the mock would have been if we just stuck with your plan.
Yeah, staring at the chat's a terrible idea.
Let's just ballpark how many names are coming in from this spam of...
Hey, you live, you learn. All I know is this is going to be our most watched episode in a while, all right?
Now,
people love this.
Detroit, they got Aidan Hutchinson at number 2. We keep saying they're playing with house money. What the hell do they do at this pick?
Okay, so I'm going
all
to
of
give
the
you
quarterbacks outside of those first two are around.
I'll give them Desmond Ridder as an option, right? Because Kenny Pickett's off.
So first of all, is that the quarterback that they would be interested in at this spot?
So here's what I would say. I've seen them linked a little bit to linebacker and safety. So I would say Nakobe Dean, Lewis Seen, the two Georgia players. Give them a linebacker and a safety option. And then the two quarterbacks, maybe Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell.
Would they be a team that takes a gamble on a guy like David Ojabo?
No, I don't think so.
Even though
they have Hutch
yeah.
on one side?
Well, I mean, it's not like they don't have a big need there.
No, they're not going to.
Ojabo was the home run.
They're not going to replicate
Pair
the
of Michigan fellas.
defensive front.
Keep them both in town.
No, they're not.
Well, you're just a killjoy.
I was rewatching the 2001 NFL draft yesterday just for fun.
Okay.
Weird like that.
Yeah.
Lions were picking at like 13. It was Matt Millen's first selection for the Lions, and they went Michigan boy Jeff Backus,
right?
Who went back to back with Steve Hutchinson, no relation. Steve Hutchinson at 12, Jeff Backus at 13, whatever it was. But what I found interesting is I think it was Joe Theismann was like, Drew Brees could be in play here for the Lions. They really like Drew Brees, but this might be too high for him.
Yeah.
Lions could have had Drew Brees in the dome.
Who was their QB? Was it
Charlie Batch. So then they were debating, like, you got to do well by Charlie Batch. You got to get him some help.
You got to do
Charlie Batch feels left out here. And they got him some protection, Jeff Backus.
So who are the QBs you want to put in here?
I would put Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell. The other one's Matt Corral. But Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell.
Pretty boring group of four people, but all right.
And what do you want to do with 32?
I mean, look, I just think this 32, it's time
to... you could have put a... that's good words. Kyler Gordon. Almost had a moment there.
Yeah.
Could have had Kyler Gordon. Why do we have him so low on our board? He's pretty good.
He's all right.
He's at 58.
He's all right.
The repo man.
The what?
It's the repo man.
Yeah.
Remember? Hides.
Yeah.
Plays robber when he's not supposed to.
Just, crouches down the field, hope somebody finds him.
Gordon's got some great plays on tape, too. How's this, chat? How's this?
Can't believe you're not interested in Ojabo.
No, I'm not.
A double dip. Doesn't want to take a chance.
This one's close.
On a special talent.
3 players within 2 percentage points. Desmond. Oh, they're all in the 20s right now. This is intense. It's all in the 20s. Where are we going here?
Sam Howell's taking the lead. Let's go.
Sam Howell is at 29%. Nakobe Dean at 28%. Desmond Ridder, 25%. It's flipping.
Armed.
Sam Howell might be pulling away here.
Deep ball specialist.
12 votes to go. Get your votes in. Get your votes in for the Detroit Lions here at 32.
Maybe they could play Jared Goff for most of the plays and then wheel out Sam Howell when they need to take a shot.
One more vote. It's going to be over here. Sam Howell's going to be your fullback.
Oh, that's true.
The way he runs. It's your fullback.
Oh, now we've got some trick plays involved.
I meant to send you this video of Howell. There's a 4th and 1 where Georgia Tech stops him, and they pick him up and carry him backwards. Probably already mentioned that. There it is. It's done. Sam Howell.
All right.
Is the pick. Sam Howell goes in the first round. Chris in the chat says he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield.
People say that just because he looks like him. There's almost nothing similar
like
about
Howell
their games
and
whatsoever.
Baker, play style-wise. Nothing at all. Got to be serious here.
Do you want to quickly give picks for teams that don't have first-rounders? Because we get that a lot.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, unfortunately, we will have to start a new mock draft to do that, and that's going to get awkward. Do you want to?
My mock draft's over.
Well, you fire one up.
I'm gonna save this image.
Yeah.
PFF NFL people mock draft.
NFL people mock draft. How deep do we have to go for the last team? Who picks last? The Rams, 104. So we need at least a 3-round mock to get to them.
Yikes. Are you gonna fire it up or am I?
I'm firing one up.
All right, so I'll just monologue for a little bit. All right, let's review the first round.
To the Rams?
So you have to input all of the first round picks that we just did?
I'm not doing that.
Let's put it to a poll.
Hang on.
Do you want us to do... Why don't we just talk through?
Chicago. Chicago's the first team. They pick at 39. That will be easier. Right.
No, because we're going to sim. So just select all the second round teams and we'll sim everything in between. We're not going to select everybody, obviously. We can do this.
We can do this.
Sim.
Okay, all right.
All right, what do you people like? What do you guys like about this mock? This is good.
Too many teams.
We're not even 2 hours in to our 2-hour podcast. So we have plenty of time to crank this out. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Special thanks to Manscaped, of course, for all of their support here during draft season.
Support.
Yes, support. They're athletic supporters.
That's what I mean.
And then
Good punt. You could work for Manscaped. The read.
Another little reset here. All right, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. Stick with us here. We're going to do some second rounders and third rounders in a second here. I want to remind you about this elite deal. 50% off using Draft 50. 50% off PFF Elite. If you sign up right now, PFF is offering a second year for free if a running back goes in the first round. A running back has gone in the first round every year since 2014. This means if Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, whoever, sneaks into the first round, you're going to get 2 years of PFF Elite Annual, a $400 value for just $100 if you use the promo code DRAFT50. So go ahead and do that. Don't forget our live show here on YouTube tonight, Friday night, Saturday, throughout the day, Sunday recap show, and then the PFF NFL podcast. We're going to be live here on YouTube right after the draft here tonight.
All right, Chicago's up.
You did it? You input all the picks?
No, God, no. They're just, I'm simming that. They're up.
Oh, you just simmed. Okay, I gotcha. So who are the options here?
Well,
because I can't get back into.
You don't have the image saved? Like who's?
I have the image saved, yeah.
Okay.
So who do you have for options there?
Well, defensive backs are around, right? The Kyler Gordon, the Daxton Hill, Jalen Petrie guys.
I like Brisker.
Of course, you'd like Brisker. Those guys are around. That group of edge rushers.
I don't know what that group is. Drake Jackson?
Drake Jackson, Ebiketie, we didn't draft, right?
I'd go Ebiketie or Brisker would be my pick there.
All right.
Add them to the poll. So we're going to do a poll for each team?
Yeah. It was just standard like we've been doing it.
All right, Bears pick. It's coming up here. We got some options. Nobody leave. Stick with us.
Wide receiver?
Yeah, definitely
Sky
wide
Moore?
receiver. Sky Moore and a lineman. Any good linemen still available?
Was Ryman still available?
He might be. I don't think we selected him.
Pull up your picture. Where's your picture?
There's no Ryman here.
So we burn our.
Let's pretend Ryman's available.
Let's pretend.
Well, yeah, because there's been other picks in between our picks and everything, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I see.
Yeah.
All right, there's your 4.
Can't get over this guy's setup.
It's mad. Crazy stuff. Love it.
Yeah, I need this. I need this for my Sunday. I need it for draft night. I like that quite a bit.
Yep.
Who's up after the Bears?
Then the Colts, right, at 42, sorry, a few picks later.
Who are the next receivers available for the Colts?
I mean, whoever.
They need a left tackle, so if Ryman doesn't get selected here, we could throw him up there.
Also, yep. There
All
we
right.
go. There's your poll.
Ebiketie. I'm going Ebiketie here for the Bears. We don't want an edge. We just traded Khalil Mack. Robert Quinn's no spring chicken. Sky Moore jumps out to a quick lead at 43%. I would take Sky Moore at second round here. The receiver situation for the Bears, not just for this year, but for next year as far as guys under contract, not great.
Look, there's an actual Austrian in the chat that says, put Ryman's name in Google Translate, put it on German, and hear the pronunciation. The A is different, but the rest is of your version. The rest of our version is good. Okay. So it's a different A, but the rest is good.
Ryman.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm going to do that at the end of this.
This is at viewer's choice. 130 votes in. It's Sky Moore, 45%. It looks like he's going to be the guy. This is how they call elections, right? You're just like, not everything's in, but you can't make up the difference.
Yeah.
Sky Moore. I don't think Ryman's second. Did you do the translate thing yet?
Not yet. I'm there. Hang on. Who's won? Who?
Sky Moore is going to be the winner here.
Okay.
Sky Moore to the Bears. I don't have to input anything. That's great. Sky Moore is the pick for the Bears in the second round. Puts the Colts on the clock somewhere in the 40s.
Yep. 42.
So give them the Austrian tackle. Did Lewis Seen get picked yet?
I mean, it's sort of up in the air. Maybe. He did.
Corner?
He did.
Kyler Gordon. Give him now because they just signed Gilmore.
I think those hybrid DBs are still around in this. There's the group of edge rushers. This is the Drake Jackson world. Josh Pascal.
He just went edge first 2 picks last year. Seen is still available. I think safety. They do have decent young safeties.
Let's give him Seen.
What are the receivers here?
Receiver.
Sky Moore's gone now. So
yeah. In this particular.
Dotson.
Dotson is still around. And then one more pick.
Do they need a guard too? Any guards available at this point?
Are they in the quarterback market in round 2? Matt Corral is available.
No.
A lot of teams don't work on Matt Corral around this kind of area.
Yeah, I know we've said that. I don't think
on our particular mock.
Let me just
David Ajabo is still around.
Let me start my own mock and get some better views here.
David Ajabo? No?
Yeah. I mean, no, because they went Michigan edge last year. Imagine Quiddy-Pay, Ajabo, and Hutchinson all on the same team.
Yeah, but like at some point, somebody is drafting David Ajabo.
Yeah, just not the Colts. It's one of the other teams that we're not drafting for right now.
I'm just putting him in
the
options. There's nothing you can do about it.
Quay Walker's available in this version that I just fired up. Not in reality, though. Roger McCreary. It's too late. So what were we doing here? Who's next after the Colts? Let's see. I'll just pick anybody. And for the Colts, so the Browns are up next after that.
Hang on, you know what, Willis? Will we see what the Google Translate says about Ryman?
I do.
Ryman.
Quay Walker's available in this version.
Shut up.
Ryman.
I gotta mute you before I can hear Ryman. All right, here we go.
If only you could.
No, I got it. I got you. Shut up.
Ryman.
That's what I said before, wasn't it?
Pretty close to what we've been saying.
Ryman.
I think that's, yeah.
Ryman.
We Americanize it by just saying Ryman.
So it's pretty much what we've been saying. There's a slight, inflection thing on the A that you need to be German to.
Send that to Renner.
I don't think Renner's problem is that Renner is incorrectly saying it. I think it's that it's been anglicized or Americanized.
Not enough votes here for the Colts. No Colts fans in here. There's only 99 votes. Oh, Dotson just took the lead. Jahan Dotson has taken the lead over Ryman. That's the way it was said, right? Just making sure I get it correct.
We should clip the actual Google Translate thing for when he's drafted later today, and just hit that as like a hotkey every time it comes up. Bernard.
Ooh, was that a hint? He's going to get drafted later today or tomorrow?
I mean, I'm not able to see the future, so I don't know. I don't have any inside information here.
Well, some people did on Quay.
Oh, apparently, allegedly.
Oh man, Dotson and the tackle. It's close. We call it for Dotson. 5% with 40 votes to go. The chat's dying.
Yeah, people don't care about the Colts.
Nobody cares about second round. This is why we don't mock second rounders. People leave.
Yeah, but then when we don't, everyone complains we never gave them a pick.
Dropped my pen while I'm on the solo shot. That's good.
Yeah.
It's draft day.
Look, Tyler's got some stuff working.
We're working on like 6 hours sleep all weekend here, so it's going to be great. It's a 1% difference.
I know. We're almost there. Come on. Keep voting. 178. Let's go. Let's get it to 200.
Ryman is a left tackle. Braden Smith is definitely locked in at right tackle. Ryman played left tackle in college.
Mm-hmm. Very well, in fact.
34 to 33% here. Please never break these two up.
I just looked at the screen momentarily, and you weren't there. It was just your chair.
Oh, it was just me. Just getting my pen. 188 votes. It's still 1% different. Come on, people.
Of course, there's a lag, so it's not actually 188 votes when this, people hear that.
No.
Yeah. Should probably stop referencing the number of votes because we're like a minute out.
Now it's tied.
Great.
I won't tell you how many votes.
One vote left. Allegedly.
It's tied as I'm looking in real time. As I'm looking at it right now, it's tied.
Oh,
there it is.
Ryman takes the lead at the last second.
Ryman is the pick for the Colts.
That sounded very
bobsled. Yeah.
No.
Jamaican.
The dude from Rocky.
Which one?
The
Paulie?
Russian.
Oh, Drago?
God. The hell's wrong with my brain?
That's him. Yeah. That means for me.
Yeah, it does.
Remember?
Great.
He said, I'm done with you. I'm doing it for me.
All right, Browns, 44. Tyler, who do you want for the Browns?
All the edges. Yeah, Tyler, you got any thoughts here? Nick Benito, Drake Jackson, Kingsley Enagbare. Do they want a receiver?
We still have Sky Moore available, right?
Or did we gave him to the Bears.
Okay. And Jahan Dotson's available, though, because we didn't draft him just then.
Oh, yeah, Dotson. I like that.
We need one more. Who's our last guy?
I just all the Enigbari, Benito.
You want to give them all three? Just 3 edge rushers, and then...
I mean, when you look at their team, Stephen Weatherly is in Porter Gustin and Chase Winovich.
Why you got to hate?
I like Winovich, though. They're gonna make some moves with Winovich. Defensive tackle could have been in play there, too, as Travis Jones is gone, though.
Tough. Can't.
All right, let's go, Browns fans.
And then the next one is a big
pick
jump,
quickly.
Right?
What's the next one? So I'm going to take Benito. That's my guy. Browns are going to like Benito, too. Could have said Brisker. Is he still? No, he's gone by now.
Our next one up is San Francisco at 61.
Oh, what the heck?
Bottom of the second round.
In my version, I have Enigbari available there for the Niners.
At 61?
Yeah.
So do I, actually.
Cam Taylor-Britt, if they want to go corner, would they go corner? Oh, they need a guard, right?
Yeah.
Dylan Parham, I like a lot.
Oh, he's so small, though, isn't he?
He's 313.
What?
I sent you that yesterday. He was listed at 285. He weighed in at 313.
He's tiny.
It's 313.
How did that man get to 313?
A lot of water. A lot of water. But you don't need it's the Shanahan scheme. You can be 200 and still block people.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think so either. How's the chat? How's the voting going? Benito's in the lead over Jahan Dotson here for the Cleveland Browns in the second round. Again, it's draft day. We're all excited here. Benito would be a flaky pick. Look, Benito's a little high compared to the consensus board, but he's good.
Yes. Oh, dude, I think he's dramatically undervalued given how good he is at rushing the passer. We might need to cut down the threshold of votes for these second and third round picks.
But they're all so close is the problem.
I know, but instead of grinding to 200, we might need to just pick a lower number and cut it off.
All right, we're a minute in, so
cut it off.
Dotson is the pick at 37%, just over Benito. So throw Benito out there for the Niners. Next, D Ford.
Now, 61. I have Enigbari as well, so let's go with that.
I chose Benito, so he's not there. Dylan Parham's available.
I have Jalen Tolbert available, which would be an interesting snag.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 49ers here, Tyler. 49ers are up.
Tolbert I'm putting. You want to put Parham in there?
Yeah. Is that it? Chad Muma?
You wanted to give him the
Do
corner
they need a
as
linebacker
well.
with
Taylor-Britt.
Oh, Cam Taylor-Britt. Yeah. Let's do that. Those are your options, Niners fans.
Done. Easy. That was simple.
All right, let's. I'll pretend Taylor-Britt's the pick, and then who's my next team? Oh, the Broncos at 64. Let's get the Broncos ready. You can go Zach Tom, Chad Muma, Dylan Parham. They just got Randy Gregory, but they could still use an Enigbari. Add all those guys, depending on what happens here. What's going to happen in the chat here? Leo Chanel, I've been told.
It is.
Is the pronunciation.
Weirdly. Feels like if you wanted it to be pronounced Chanel, you should spell it Chanel.
Is this the best podcast we've done all week?
Certainly today.
It's losing a little
yeah, it's the second and third round is getting to be a grind.
That's what happens, though. That's what happens with the real draft. They're all so close. I'm ready to call it after 59 votes, but it's close. The Browns do need defensive tackle, David, from the chat. I did.
Space on that?
I did a little bit. I caught it later. All defensive line, really, for the Browns. Your pick for the Browns sucks. I mean.
Sweet. All right.
Look, sometimes teams make bad picks.
Appreciate
Jahan
it, Larry.
Dotson's a good player. Boss loves him. Chris loves him. Once we get to 100 votes, I'm calling it.
Okay.
Parham's in the lead.
We've hit 100 votes. Call it.
Parham's in the lead. Dylan Parham. He's the pick. Just firing up his tape last night. Chad Muma to the Broncos. The people are already talking about it in the chat. We just do that. Giving teams players that don't fit at all. What are you talking about, Ray? These guys all fit.
Denver's
Chad
up.
Muma, Enigbari, Zach Tom, We already gave him Parham to another team. Who else for Denver? Kellen Deesh. We're way too high on him compared to the Darian Kennard. Add Darian Kennard there.
What?
He's number 79 on our board.
Enigbari, who else?
All of them? You want to know?
What? Yeah.
Chad Muma. Are we way too high on Asamoah?
Possibly.
Gadecki, Luke Gadecki, to play guard. And I don't know. We already did an edge? Darian Kennard, a tackle / guard? I don't know. It's a lot harder to predict. We're making up scenarios here.
Right.
Making up scenarios is what's happening. Let me go to my Denver depth chart here.
Ooh, Marcus Jones is here. Marcus Jones.
I like Marcus Jones. I don't know if
Bryce
he goes.
Callahan?
He's not going to go this high.
Bottom of the second?
They got K'Wan Williams.
Bottom of the second?
So they've signed Billy Turner. You have Graham Glass. Go. Glasgow. But I think they could use some offensive line depth there. I don't think either of those guys get locked in.
Can't believe you're hating on.
Zach Tom could play center, maybe take over for Cushenberry. So he moved up to average last year.
We got Enigbari, Muma, Gadecki. Who else?
We haven't done this yet?
No.
Tight end? Is there a tight end available?
Yes.
Yeah, go the best tight end available here. Because they traded Fant.
They did.
Maybe lose the add more defensive linemen instead of offensive linemen here for the Broncos.
I'm just putting in who you tell me to put in. Tell me more defensive linemen if you want more defensive linemen. And which offensive lineman you're losing, Muma or Gadecki?
Lose Gadecki.
Right.
And give me Cameron Thomas. Edge out of San Diego State.
Favorite of Austin's.
One of Austin's favorites.
Former, current, I guess. San Diego State Aztec.
Oh, gosh, I just did a 2-round mock. We're not doing the 3rd round team.
I have the 3rd round. I have it.
I don't even have my mock. I don't have my stuff sorted out now.
It's not important. We've come this far. We have to go the final.
We got what, the Raiders and Rams?
Step.
Who's left?
The Rams are certainly last.
Raiders. This is a great mock draft.
Next up, we got to get rid of them. You already did them.
Jones is like 5'6", day 3. Yeah, I mean, he's short, but he's
5'7". That inch is important when you're that size.
I mean, look
Don't
at
hate on the man.
The Boise State guy for the Rams.
Dante Dion?
Yeah, Dante Dion.
Very ickle as well.
So we got the Raiders, Dolphins, and Rams.
Yes, Raiders 86.
Do a 4-round mock here, just to be safe. Start the draft. Raiders at 86. Let's figure out some options here for the Raiders.
On this particular sim that I'm doing, Gadecki is still there. They need offensive line help.
Yep, add Gadecki.
Calendish is still there.
Add him. Marcus Jones is still there.
Yes, he is. I'm never going to learn how to spell Deesh's name properly.
I like Jalen Armour Davis.
Yeah.
As a corner.
Not a terrible player.
Danny Gray's there.
Love Danny Gray.
Armour Davis.
Armour Davis's name is confusing because he spells armor the way Europeans spell armor.
He does.
Not the way Americans do it.
Very confusing. Muma's going to be the guy here for the Broncos. Call it for Muma. Polls over, 52%. Chad Muma to the Broncos.
Right, Raiders, we have Gadecki, Deesh, Jalen Armour Davis. Anyone else you want to throw in there?
Did we mention one other? Well, there was one other guy. How do they feel about... Let's throw our guy Marcus Jones in there just to do it.
Our guy Marcus Jones.
Why not?
Marcus Jones is awesome.
I didn't realize Donovan West. Is that a misspelling? He spells it Donovan.
Did what?
Like, I got to figure out if this is a...
Like D-O-H?
Yeah. Yeah. Dope! Like Homer.
Yeah.
Nevin West.
Feels unlikely that's a spelling mistake.
Just a big Simpsons fan.
I mean, by us at least.
It's unlikely, but I had to check. It's not. Dope.
Yeah.
Navin.
All right.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah. It's high-end podcasting right now.
You wanted to go all the way through here.
Look, people hate when we don't. There's a quarter of the league hasn't got a first-round pick.
That's their fault.
I agree.
You just say Rams, Matthew Stafford. Raiders, Devontae Adams.
I'm just
Dolphins,
saying,
Tyreek
when we
Hill.
don't give those teams any kind of acknowledgement in
That's
these
true.
mock
We're giving
drafts,
them
they
love.
get upset. It just turns out that when we do, people don't care.
Who's after the Raiders?
After the Raiders, it's got to be...
Dolphins are next.
At pick number...
Welcome to the show, Donald Simmons, Raiders fan. But go back and watch. You're a little late, but it's fine.
If you just joined the show.
If everybody could just throw the thumbs up there, too, if you enjoyed the show. We always appreciate that. It helps us grow, helps us go viral.
102 from Miami.
All right, let's pick somebody for... I'm just going to pick Carson Strong just to get him out of the way.
I was going to suggest that for Miami.
Oh, well, Carson Strong could be an option for Miami. That's actually an interesting one. But you got to do well by Tua here.
Isn't doing well by Tua giving him the motivation of a big-armed statue?
The opposite. Just the opposite of Tua coming in here.
Look, the Tua thing didn't work, so we're going to swing back in the opposite direction and get a guy that can't move but has a cannon.
So for the Dolphins, I know one of the favorite picks for them is gone, which was the Nebraska center, Juergens.
Kellen Deesh is still here in my particular sim.
Yep, throw him in there. Throw him in the mix. What other? I mean, Marquise Hayes, the guard from Oklahoma, is here for mine. Where else could they potentially go?
Yeah, Hayes is still here in mine. Do they want to get at least some kind of contingency at corner so that at some point they can move on from the giant sums of money they're paying people? Cordell Flott.
Is Flott available for you?
Yep.
Definitely throw him there. Armour Davis is still available for me here. Damari Mathis.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, he's got Flott and Mathis. Or Armour Davis.
Who was the other offensive lineman you wanted to put in there?
Who did I say? Dude, give him Jelani Woods.
Marquise Hayes, was that who you wanted in there?
Yeah, Marquise Hayes. Jelani Woods, just watching him again yesterday. 6'7", just a monster target to go in the middle of the field here. Add more crazy targets to the Dolphins. Gadecki's the pick, by the way, for the Raiders. Oh, that's awesome. We'll show Austin.
Would they, would the Dolphins take a running back?
Yes, they could.
James Cook?
Add it. Yep. Oops. No, I think they've added so much at running back. Don't put that in there. They've added so much at running back. I got a hard out in like 3 minutes here.
Well, then you better hurry up. We've got two more people. Who do you want?
You have two more people? Do you have Armour Davis in there?
Okay.
And
no, done. That's there.
Perfect. 4. And then the last one's the Rams.
Yes.
I'll take Armour Davis.
Rams, I pick number 1.
So the Rams could use a starting corner and a starting guard.
Unideal at pick number 104.
I know. I wonder if Deesh could kick into guard for them.
If Miami doesn't take Hayes, he'll be there.
They should just draft Jelani Woods.
Oh, yes. That's definitely going into the
Rams. Jelani Woods. D'Angelo Malone at edge. Damari Mathis at corner. And Marquise Hayes at guard. If he doesn't get selected here by the Dolphins.
Who's leading that poll?
Looks like Deesh. It's Deesh. To play tackle. 32 votes in, so. Deesh has taken the lead here. Now, where's the screenshot I have to send to Austin here? The people have spoken. Silence is good sometimes, I think.
Yeah, in audio podcasts.
Silence is good on a podcast.
In audio podcasts, people
it's a different version of the podcast today. It's like we're all in this together. We're all working together.
You hear that all the time. The one thing people want when they're listening to podcasts is just radio silence.
When you give speeches and stuff, you're actually supposed to. Like, it's very uncomfortable when you're talking and you're very silent in between stuff, but you're supposed to do that, I guess.
I am not sure that that's true.
Yeah, you have pointed silence, like directed silence to kind of like let them.
Silence for emphasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not like 20 seconds at a time or anything like that. I'm just saying, even if you're silent for like 2 seconds when you're the speaker, it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
But it's what you want here. It's what you do.
Uh-huh.
All right. How's this poll doing here? Oh, it's in. Kellen Diesch is the pick for the Dolphins. Puts the Rams up on the clock. Do you have your 4 options for the Rams?
Jelani Woods, Marquise Hayes,
Damari Mathis, and D'Angelo Malone, an edge from Western Kentucky.
You don't want to give him a wide receiver?
Do you really? You want to give him a receiver?
Romeo Dubes is available.
Put Dubes in there.
Over which of the last 2 guys you named?
Over D'Angelo Malone. Undersized edge to replace Obo. They lost Obo, right? Sorry if I don't remember every roster move right off the top of my head every single time.
I mean, you can be sorry, but it won't stop the shame.
No, that's right. They picked up Nwosu. Oh, geez, what just happened here? Wow. Did they pick up Nwosu, or did that just explode on me? Yeah, it just exploded. Bobby Wagner's in. You get Justin Hollins, Leonard Floyd as your edges. That's why I was thinking edge. Maybe D'Angelo Malone, but he's not really a great fit there. He was just next up on my board.
Okay.
So that's it.
Once we get this poll done, then it'll be it.
Last poll.
Yep.
Guard, edge, and cornerback. I got you, Spencer Miller. I got you. We just didn't get an edge in there. It's called a pregnant pause. That's what somebody in the chat said.
Yeah.
We had a Jelani Woods here, not because he needed tight end,
just because
everyone needs a 6'7", 275-pound tight end. So
yes,
I don't care.
Could be amazing.
Watching Jelani Woods tape, all I said is I want him on my team. That's all I know, is I want him on my team.
Yep.
Don't care. Runs fast, too. He's not polished, but he's not clunky either.
No, I mean, he's got a lot of similarities in terms of, like, the guy was kind of trapped in a blocking first role for years.
Yeah.
And then finally got a shot to be a feature part of an offense, had really good production. It's a little bit like, remember, we really liked George Kittle coming out. It was just, there was such a small sample size of actual production. It was all projection. Like, what can he be going forward? And when you don't know, it's difficult to rank that guy really highly. Turns out, with hindsight, we were way too low on Kittle, even though we really liked him.
Right.
There's a lot of similarities there with Woods that even though you're like, I mean, I really like what we see, there's so much projection involved, but like if he hits, it could be amazing.
It's early in the poll still, but look, Jelani Woods is way ahead. He's the guy.
Done.
He's the guy that we would take for the Rams.
Wrap.
And this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you need. It doesn't matter about the roster holes that you still have.
When you're picking 104 in the draft,
you take
traded
7 tight ends.
Because you traded away all your good picks. You grab Jelani Woods when he's available.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question. We'll answer one question from the chat. Where would Kadarius Toney rank among prospects this year if he came out this year?
Where would he rank amongst prospects this year? So
we weren't that high on him. We had him as a late first rounder last year. I think he's a late first rounder, which puts him wide receiver 5.
He is
Sky Moore.
Yeah, he's
Traylon Burks territory.
On my rankings, I had Garrett Wilson, Olave, Jameson Williams, George Pickens, Drake London, Sky Moore. He is in that, honestly, he's in that Traylon Burks bracket, right? A guy who has a weird deployment usage, a weird style, but has incredible talent. And where do you draft that? Like, I would say he should be basically alongside Traylon Burks. They're different types of players, but I think the ceiling and the difficulties in evaluating them both are similar.
Perfect. Like I said, that one ridiculous game against the Cowboys makes me just think, man, the potential is through the roof for Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, it is.
Because the different movement skills that he showed in college translated. That is always the question, right? Like, this guy looks fast, he looks quick, he looks big and strong in college, and then when you confirm it in the NFL, things are different. You know?
Yes. His problem now is that, this is now a team that essentially seems to want to give up on him after a year, and there's been a lot of chatter about, attitude issues or commitment to the cause and blah, blah, all that kind of crap, right? If that's true, that's a difficult thing to get past.
The one thing I just wanted to finish on this about Jelani Woods, again, 6'7", 275-pound tight end who ran well. The tight end world in today's NFL, it's really like, there's 5 or 6 tight ends who are actual mismatch weapons. And it's just a whole bunch of just pretty good tight ends around the NFL. I think taking the chance to get a difference maker at tight end gives you an edge. And in this class, Woods is the one guy I think that could be that person. Trey McBride's a really good tight end, but he probably fits in with the other just decent, good tight ends around the NFL. He's our tight end 1. But Woods, like you want a guy that's a Darren Waller or a Travis Kelce or a Gronk or whatever. So,
it's also, there's so few tight ends coming into the NFL every year that have pedigree or the complete profile, all these kinds of things. So, like, if you're taking a shot at a tight end, you might as well grab a guy that has this kind of potential as opposed to just, well, here's a giant body that hasn't really got production and isn't the best athlete in the world, but he plays tight end. We need a tight end. Let's take him.
Anyway, that's it for us. That's the final mock draft. We'll post this on Twitter, spread it around. We'll see if we can put this into a mock draft contest or anything for accuracy's sake. Yeah. See how well our viewers do. It was all right. Did a good job, I think. You gonna do a final mock?
No.
Throw it on Twitter?
No.
All right.
No, I'm not.
Maybe I will.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do a predictive one.
Maybe we'll do one when we're in the Studio B.
Could do that. So, again, tune in tonight, live. We're covering the draft Thursday, Friday, Saturday, recapping Sunday. PFF NFL podcast coming to you right after the draft tonight. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, get PFF Elite. It's Draft 50. It's your promo code, 50% off. Could get 2 years for free if a running back goes in the first round. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Happy draft, everybody.